now you are listening to On the Fly with Stevie Fly. Freak out! What's up, guys? Yeah! Oh, yeah! I'm the redneck macho man with my I don't even know what it is up there, but there's only straw hat I could find. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
It
What's up, dude?
is Thursday night, live at 8:00. On the Fly's back again. We were like I said, we are doing something tonight we haven't done in a while. Usually I've had my buddy Kyle up here. We've done some watch calls, but we haven't done a wrestling list in a while. And this will be my third time probably. I think it's third time doing my top 10 list. And I was telling Bruce before we went on the air tonight, this is, as long as it's within like a year of each other, and it's not like too close together, it'll change. I mean, it's like there's guys on my list right now that have changed, and my number one hasn't changed, but my number two is fall from the wayside. So we'll get that. But tonight we look at this crew right here, guys. This is like I said earlier on Facebook, the nation of useless information has formed. So tonight, from the Hooked On Sonix podcast and making his second appearance in a week, Mr. Bruce Fowdy. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Wrestling was my first love before music, so I'm really excited about this.
Oh, yeah. And then also from the Hooked On Sonix podcast, we won't talk about his football team or anything, but Mr. Tony Tone has done it again. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Been looking forward to this all week. Excited to be sitting down with a few good guys talking guy shit. So
yeah. And then making his debut. Well, Tony's making his debut on here too. So I got to give you props for that. Making his debut, a frequent guest on the Hooked On Sonix podcast, Mr. Chuck Gans. What's up, buddy?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, wrestling has been just a big part of my growing up, into my adulthood, and to my oncoming elderlyhood.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wrestling has been a big part for me since like late '84 into '85. And I got hooked. Now I'll go ahead and tell you guys, and I think most of you. I don't know about Chuck, but I think from talking to most of you, the current product will not really be making an appearance on my list tonight. Nobody from the current product. So, I mean, it's okay if you did, but it's not because Chuck's upset now. I was upset, Chuck. But from what you said was your number 15, I don't know if I have to worry about that or not. So
yeah, there's zero from the current product.
We've got a comment coming in already. Nice hat.
You guys are almost matching.
Wonder where you got that from. That's my daughter talking there.
You stole your daughter's hat?
I did. It was look. I mean, I don't have too many hats like this laying around the house. So
shame.
It was out in the wide open, so I had to do it. But I'm gonna tell you what. It's a reason why Savage didn't wear these sunglasses too much, because good Lord, with these little designs in here, it'll get you going too, boy. Good Lord. Appreciate the like, Jason Jenkins. Appreciate the like. But tonight we are doing our top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. And I always say this when we do a list. It is our list. It's our favorite list. You can have your list, and be sure if you're watching tonight, be sure to give us your favorites right here. We'll debate that too. My daughter said she's been looking for that, and I'll tell you where it was. It was right here in the kitchen, hanging up where we hang our keys. So it's right there. Because I was going to look for it earlier. So at least
tell her to snap it to a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah. So, needless to say, you know who one of the people on my list is going to be already. Where he's ranked, you don't know, but one on my list already, or I wouldn't be wearing this stuff. Even the Macho Man retro shirt. But
Are you wearing the tights? That's what we want to know, with the stars on the back.
well, I couldn't get my Macho King tight on tonight, but I do have some shorts with Mega Powers on the back. I mean, I could have worn it, but I don't think anybody would have seen that. Yeah, but the Macho King stuff I could probably fit into. But yeah, talking about how we got into it, we'll go around the horn here. I just remember back in like '84, my cousins lived right across the street from me, and they would come like Sunday afternoon, playing basketball in their yard. I hear them start talking about different wrestlers, and I'm like, what the heck are y'all talking about? Because I remember as a little kid, my dad watching, I was like, I don't want to watch any of this. I want to watch football or something like that. But the big mistake was when I started watching it, and I'm from North Carolina, so the Crockett Promotions was what I was really watching. Every, you and I didn't have cable because I think you guys may know I'm from a town of about 80 people, so they never brought cable here. So we had to go outside with an antenna and a pipe wrench and turn the antenna like that until we got it. But it came on twice on Saturdays, and I was 11:30 at night. I was hooked. I got hooked really quick to where I was obsessed with it. And but yeah, Crockett was my promotion of choice. I did watch WWF. Of course, I got into that. But if I had to have a choice, Crockett was mine. Let's go right down to you, Tone. How did you get into this the wrestling?
My dad got me into wrestling. He is is still to this day a huge wrestling fan. My stepbrother, who was married, or his mom was married to my stepdad, is still a huge wrestling fan, collector. As a matter of fact, for his birthday, we bought him, what was it, the Money in the Bank
briefcase?
Not briefcase, but he's got belts and shit, dude. But he's we got him the Money in the Bank wrestling ring for his wrestlers, because sometimes he'll sit down there and pose them or do whatever he does with them. And then we got but my dad still watches wrestling to this day. I know I keep in touch with it. I got a buddy of mine named Sean who's still a big wrestling fan. You couldn't call him on Monday night when wrestling's on. No, phone's off limits. You just don't call him. If WrestleMania or a pay-per-view's on, don't call him. You're not going to get in touch with him. And there was I had my era. I had my era of watching wrestling. I remember as far back as watching the Fabulous Freebirds and Terry Funk and a lot of the old guard that I would consider the old guard. There's older guard that we'll discuss tonight, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I remember guys like Dusty Rhodes and his promotions and stuff, coming out and the American Dream, baby. Just, there was a really cool time for wrestling. And I also remember the WWF era,
if you will,
with Hogan, Piper, Macho.
Oh yeah.
Was it Wendy Richter?
Wendy Richter.
Yeah, and even the cartoon. Everybody remembers the cartoon. If you were into wrestling at the time, you watched the fucking cartoon.
Hey, so I'll not interrupt you real quick. You know who did the voice on the cartoon for the Junkyard Dog?
Who?
James Avery.
Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's right.
No, there's that useless information. Why wouldn't the Junkyard Dog play his spot?
None of them did their voices. That was not Hulk Hogan.
None of them did their voices?
No.
Wow, that's something. That's useless information. Yeah. There it is.
Can you imagine if the actual Iron Sheik was trying to do dialogue?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Would be this was kids watching this too.
You got a point.
Making everybody humble.
Yeah, but I remember I used to watch it, dude. And I remember when wrestling figures were made of really hard rubber.
Oh yeah, the Galoob stuff. Where you couldn't even it wasn't even like the Stretch Armstrongs where you could stretch them.
You couldn't pose them or nothing.
Yeah.
And if you wrestled them too much, the paint would wear off of that rubber.
Yeah, I had some of those. I wish I still had them too. I got a friend of mine that collects them, and he's missing just a few from having that whole set of those.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably stopped watching wrestling shortly after the NWO Monday Night War stuff. It lost its luster to me, and I'll sit and watch a pay-per-view with a friend every once in a while, but I'm not up to date on who's who and what's what.
I watched about 20 minutes of Raw the other night. That's the most I've watched in a long time. But let's go over here to Mr. Chuck. Chuck, how did you get into wrestling?
Oh, I'll try to keep this short. So I had family members. It was always one in the background, and it always had like magazines laying around. And like I remember being like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
You can catch it on YouTube.
And this was probably like 1979, 1980 on the television. And I remember it was WTBS.
Yeah.
And it was Georgia Championship Wrestling. Or at least I am pretty sure that it was Georgia Championship Wrestling and not Mid-Atlantic. And I remember seeing Dusty Rhodes. And then I don't remember too much after that until seeing some more magazines with Bob Backlund as the champion. Hulk Hogan was in the AWA. Nick Bockwinkel was the champion in the AWA. And then all of a sudden the Hulkamania thing exploded in 1984. And then that's what got me really like paying attention to wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and especially from anything that I could get my hands on from the early 70s up into and through the 90s, I think like most of it's like gold. I love all of that stuff. Like I got the WWE Network like really early just so I could like try to find the Tommy Rich versus Buzz Sawyer cage style cage match. I mean, like just thumbing through all these. I've got a ton of magazines in my basement, a megaton of like videotapes, very old, like the Lord of the Ring videotape.
I remember that.
The other one that it's slipping my mind right at the second, but like all these old NWA tapes that Bill Apter narrated.
They had a bash, Great American Bash '85 when that was the Lord of the Ring one, and the Great American Bash one were always advertised in Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Yes,
that may be the one you're talking about.
So like all of that stuff up until like even some of the current stuff, but man, like it's always played a big part in my life for whatever reason, watching wrestling and getting into all these shoot interviews. And I listen to most of the wrestling podcasts that are there's something to wrestle with, what happened when, like even Doug Gilbert, Eddie Gilbert's brother, Doug Gilbert had a podcast for a short time. I listen to all that shit, dude. MLW, like, so wrestling means a lot.
I got to tell you, let me interject you real quick. I was sitting there telling Bruce after I talked to Stevie, because I talked to Stevie first when this whole thing came up. I said, listen, man, I know that you want me and Bruce on, but it would be a disservice if we didn't invite Chuck on.
Sure did.
Because Chuck is going to have some interesting takes and information, and he is very knowledgeable about wrestling. So I talked to Stevie about it. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Bring him on. So I reached out to Bruce and told him, I said, hey, Bruce, so the podcast sounds like it's going to be a good idea. I told him, he might want to have Chuck on too. And Bruce is like, why are you imposing people on his podcast? I'm like, because Chuck would be good for this podcast. He's like, yeah. I said, it's already clear, dude. Shut up. Like,
it was fine. Look, I'm always, and if Chuck knows all of this stuff, then I love to hear some of his stories. I can't wait to hear his list.
Like, dude, I went and it was so exciting to get the Wahoo McDaniel shoot interview. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
Any of those look, when I started with the internet and they had all these shoot interviews out there, it was almost anybody that had a shoot interview out there I would listen to. Whether it freaking Matt Bourne, Doink the Clown, I would listen to that shoot interview. That was
train wreck.
Yes,
he's a train wreck.
Yep,
he definitely was. All right, Bruce, we'll move to you. What got you into wrestling?
Well, I can tell you for sure it wasn't my dad. Dad hated wrestling, hated it. And he would try to burst my bubble anytime it came on. That shit's fake. I'm like, no, it's not. Shut up. Whatever. I distinctly remember, I don't remember how old I was, but I remember my uncle was in the hospital in Canton, and we'd be sitting in the waiting room for days. And they were always playing the WTBS Superstation, and the wrestling would come on, and I was hooked. And then every blue moon we would get cable. So then I started finding the Saturday or the Sunday show on USA Network for WWF, and then ESPN. Right after I come out of school, we're showing the AWA stuff. So like I got pretty much all like the major federations all at one time, and I was just hooked. Like I loved so many different styles, because like the NWA or that older school style is completely different than the WWF.
Yep.
Completely, but I loved it. It was more real.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. Is really just stumbled upon it at a hospital, and I was hooked ever since.
I told you guys my dad would watch it when I was a kid, really a young kid, and I didn't like it. When I started watching it, my dad would be like, "You got to watch this crap again. Come on, dude. I mean, really." I was like, you were trying to get me to watch it. What happened? So
ships passing in the night.
Yep, exactly. But and I'll tell you this, my grandmother came to live with us near the end of her life, and she had some a lot of pain from arthritis. But the only 2 times I heard my grandma cuss was she cussed at Nikki Newman on the Young and the Restless, and she called Ric Flair a son of a bitch. That was the only 2 times I heard my grandma. She said, "Why has he got to do that?" I was like, "I don't know, Grandma." But anyway, so we're gonna do our top 10 favorites. We're gonna, like I said, I will stress this because people go, "Oh, he's not." I could have freaking Doink the Clown up here at number 1. Guess what? It's my list. So,
all right, good night, everyone.
My number 2 is going to shock the world, and that would be a hint right there.
There you go.
It's not going to be the Shockmaster. It's not Fred Ottman or anything with his bedazzled stormtrooper helmet. So let's get this on the road right here. Chuck, since you're in that corner over there, we're going to get you started with number 10, and we'll just move around.
All right, number 10. I dreamed of seeing this dude wrestle when I was a kid. I always seen in the magazines, there's always a lot of blood. He looked like his name, and the made up stories that they put in the magazines. But they always described him really well. And I wasn't disappointed when I seen
Abdullah.
Dude, he almost made my list.
The shoot interview.
Dude, he almost made my list, dude.
Now I was kicking. It was between him and Bobby Eaton that was going to be number 10.
Oh God!
Bobby Eaton didn't cut it for whatever. I mean, I love Bobby, but Abby had to make it. I just seen the Dark Side of the Ring, the Abdullah the Butcher episode, and yeah, I mean he won titles like everywhere, like in Japan. He was a legend in Japan. And if you've ever seen the Hulk Hogan versus Abdullah the Butcher Japan matches,
oh yeah,
oh my, like yeah, look those up if you've never seen them. I mean, he wrestled for Stu Hart, and the matches with like Carlos Colon and Bruiser Brody and WWE.
To me, the ultimate Abdullah matches were with Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody.
I mean, just
whether it was class or whether it was the World Wrestling Council, like you always seen, like in the magazines, you know, the Caribbean wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It would be either him and Carlos Colon, which they had a match at Starrcade '83 that was really good.
Yep.
He had a match. What was it? '84. It was '85 against Manny Fernandez. The
Raging
Bull.
Bull
With this now. The sombrero on a pole match or
some shit like that. Yeah.
Could get away with that now.
That sounds like a Dusty gimmick.
What are you talking about, baby? What are you talking about, baby?
Our bass player singer from Beyond Neptune, Blue. He reminded me of Abdullah's first rope headbutt, like how he would spring off just the first bottom rope headbutt. It's fucking great.
Abdullah's having some health issues now. I saw.
Yes, he is.
I saw an update on him yesterday. He's in the hospital.
Yeah, but that brings up the idea of Abdullah and Sabu.
Oh gosh,
I bet those were some pretty intense matches too.
But you know, the worst thing they did for him was late or early '90s, maybe right at 1990, when they teamed him up. This 6-man tag team, Captain Mike Rotunda, Abdullah the Butcher, and Norman the Lunatic.
Yeah.
That's when Jim Herd was there and had no idea what he was doing. And good gosh, dude, that was I mean, you just took Abdullah's biggest thing away, being Abdullah can't be a babyface. I mean, that's that's just, and to put him in there with Norman, I mean, Rotunda.
Mike.
Rotunda was going through his whole phase with what gimmick are they going to put me in this time? Between the best gimmick he had was Varsity Club, and then go to being a captain of a ship. Oh my God, that was
I forgot about that. Oh
yeah, they had him out there wearing the captain's hat, and then Michael Wall Street, which he got out of. That's when he left and went to WWF and was IRS. So, but I loved him. And why we got talking about Rotunda anyway? Abdullah.
But the U.S. Express with Barry Windham, though.
Yes. Oh yeah, his brother-in-law.
I see that at the Hyatt Regency, whatever the arena was called, but in 1985.
Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that Real American was originally their theme song, not Hulk Hogan.
Correct.
Yep. So I remember getting the little WWF cassette, and Real America was on there. It said U.S. Express theme song, and I was like, no, it's not. It's Hulk Hogan's. But they left. Wyndham left, and I think Rotunda left shortly after. So they had to do something different. But okay, so Tone, let's get your number 10.
Number 10 for me is going to be the guy you're trying to impersonate, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Wow.
Small story about Savage. Little thing people don't know is I have a very crazy vocal range. I sing mainly in C when I'm singing comfortably, but I have a pretty crazy vocal range, and I can imitate a lot of different voices, and have been able to imitate a lot of different voices over the years. Macho Man being one of them, Hulk Hogan being another, The Rock being another. I can imitate all those voices. Do I do a great imitation? I don't know, but I think they're funny and I have fun with them. However, Macho Man was a good friend to a guy that I used to work with at the Claremont. I know that Chuck knows. I know that Bruce knows. You're not familiar, but there was a restaurant here for many years on the south side of town, just before you got into downtown, called the Claremont Steakhouse. They carried steak and seafood. They were a fine dining steakhouse. I worked there for 4 years. I was very good friends with a gentleman by the name of Jeff Irwin, who is also related to another Jeff Irwin that I knew on the west side. But this Jeff Irwin was an older cat, lived down on the south side. He was actually good friends with Macho Man Randy Savage, Randy Poffo, and they partied a lot together when they were younger. So
cool.
Yeah, Yeah, Jeff would tell me pretty cool stories about him and Macho just growing up. Because if my calculations are correct, Randy Savage attended East High School.
North High School.
Was it North or East? I could have sworn
North.
it was East, dude.
It was North.
Chuck, can you validate that?
I don't know that, but I do know that people used to say, and I'm not 1,000% sure on this, but Mohawk Middle School.
He may have attended Mohawk. Yeah, Jeff may have attended Mohawk with him. So
trying to see
they went way back. They were good buddies, dude, and it was really fucking cool. You know what I mean? But Jeff was
he graduated from Downers Grove North High School.
Where else did it say anywhere else he attended?
Was there a Mohawk Middle School for him?
Well, here's the thing. So the family,
Cleveland Middle School.
Yeah, the family wasn't in the Columbus area for very long.
Yeah. So you heard North, I hear East.
They'll carry the legend.
That's right.
Oh, he was at Mohawk School. I went to middle school with him.
Either way, Jeff was a cool cat, and some of the stories he told me were pretty wild, and it sounded like some stuff that Randy would get into, to be honest. Whether or not they were true, I was a kid. So, but I was aware that Randy Savage spent some time in the Columbus area, and I'm pretty positive from what I was told he attended East. But Bruce says no.
Also Wikipedia too, so this could be wrong.
You know what? It'd be a good hunt. Bruce come into town one day. We go into a high school and see if we can find him in the records.
There you go.
All right.
Dope. All right. That was sweet, man. Yeah. Randy Savage, number 10 for me, dude.
Bruce, you're number 10.
All right. So, for whatever reason, I have always had a fascination with dudes in makeup. Do what you want with that clip. Anyway, number 10 for me, I was absolutely just amazed by his acrobatics and his gimmick where he would spray the green mist in people's faces. The Great Muta.
Dude, he could have made my list too.
Great Muta. I mean, I had never seen anyone do the antics that he did off the top rope. Maybe a close second would have been Snuka, but Muta was so much more like acrobatic with his stuff. And I love how I got to see different iterations of Muta from the AWA to the NWA. I think he was in the WWF for a hot minute, if I remember right. But
I think so too.
Yeah, I think he made a brief appearance there, but he wasn't long.
But man, he was just one of the highlights. Starting off, Great Muta for me, number 10.
One of the biggest travesties they did, I guess it was WCW at the time in '89, with the whole Sting getting kicked out of the Horseman. The reaction Muta got in that cage that night at Clash after Sting had got kicked out when Muta was taking out the Horseman, they should have turned Muta babyface, but guess what? Gary Hart wanted no part of that.
Yeah.
And I think Muta could have been a really good babyface at that. And then you could have had Muta help Sting out with.
Oh, that would have been fucking great. Oh.
Yeah. The war with the Horseman with Sting and Muta. Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome. But yeah, we might talk about him a little bit later in my list.
There you go.
We'll talk about it. But number 10 for me, and there's two versions of this guy. And this guy's like, a tag team. 1 minute he's a tag team wrestler. Next minute he's a single wrestler talking about, I got your hook up. But the version I liked was the tag team version. And he won the TV belt before he left WCW. Scott Steiner. This guy, I mean, when he came in, you look at this guy, nice looking guy. He had the mullet and everything like everybody wanted back then. Nice, fit looking guy. But the stuff he came up with and the way what he could do at that time, at that weight before he got so huge and he was Big Papa Pump.
Yeah.
With the Frankensteiner, the Tilt-A-Whirl, him and Rick doing the stuff off the top rope. But yeah, Scott Steiner was so athletic, and one of the best matches you can watch, and I'm sure all of you guys have seen it. One of the Clash of the Champions, I think it was in like '91. Flair and Scott Steiner in the main event, and he proved then that he could be a singles wrestler, and I think that was the plan. Before, of course, him and Bill Watts didn't see eye to eye. Steiner, he got that reputation where I'm going to make my feelings known. And yeah, when you give him an open mic, you're in trouble. But he let Watts know that he didn't like what he was doing. And his WWF time was not the best. But I don't know if you guys watched the Legends on the Steiner brothers. Scott was suffering with a foot injury when he made that WWF run, when he was challenging Triple H. His foot was numb. He had to have major surgery on that before he went to TNA. But when he came to the ring, I think it was at a Royal Rumble where he fought Triple H. If you watch him, when he went to climb up on the turnbuckle, he couldn't feel his foot, and he slipped off the turnbuckle.
Yep. I've seen it. And he did that. He actually did that a couple times.
Yeah, with that numb foot. So he was not at 100% then, but yeah. But
let me make this very clear. That name will come up again later for sure.
Yeah, Scott Steiner, the early version of Scott Steiner for me, because I mean, Big Papa Pump, I know he reinvented himself and it worked out great for him. But I prefer the early Scott Steiner.
I just want to point out, like, all you guys are making excuses for his numb foot. It didn't stop Kerry Von Erich winning the Intercontinental Championship. Just saying.
Oh, it didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, Scott won some belts after the numb foot, but nobody ever pulled Scott's foot off either.
You can say what you want about Scott Steiner, and I'm just gonna make this very clear. You can't name another wrestler in as physical peak condition, bigger, more muscles on top of muscles than that dude right there. There's nobody. You can't name another person. They don't exist. Not in the wrestling world.
And you can't name another wrestler that had a Shoney's restaurant either, like Scott Steiner.
Well, here's the other thing. If you had to tag me in what I would consider my top 3, top 5 tag teams of all time,
oh god,
the Steiner brothers definitely fall in that.
Don't give it away, dude.
Dude, they are undeniable. They are undeniable, real wrestling, dude. Like if the Steiner brothers can't fall in your top 5 as a tag team, then something's dead wrong.
I got to see them live one time, and they fought the Freebirds, and oh gosh,
I bet it was a great match.
It was, and just seeing them come to the ring, come by me, because I was about 6 or 7th row ringside, and them coming by me, I was like, looking at them guys, I was like, holy crap, these guys are bad.
They were awkward because they were brothers, like, and one was this big, gigantic giant, and one was this pit bull. You know what I mean? Like it was
dog face gremlin.
Yeah, I've loved the Steiner brothers since I first saw them.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Steiner in WWF was like when he was first starting, you could tell he was going to be really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chuck, you're number 9.
Yeah. All right, number 9. He's a former WCW tag champion, a USWA tag champion, a 3-time WWE champion or F champion. He's a king of the death match, a #1 bestseller.
Oh,
I know who this is.
Mick Foley, or any iteration of him. I hope that's not cheating.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, we'll just call him hardcore wrestler Mick Foley because he's been across the board, and he is the hardcore legend that it will always remain at the top of the scale on that. We all know that. But when you think about hardcore guys, I guarantee you everybody in this room's got one hardcore guy on their list. I guarantee it. If you don't have a hardcore guy on your list, then you weren't watching some extreme wrestling at any point in time ever in your life.
The first time I ever seen him wrestle was on a Clash of the Champions, I believe.
Oh yeah.
It was against Norman the Lunatic.
Did you?
I don't recall seeing him wrestle before that, but I was always like how he was taking some of the bumps, or when I was a kid, he was just getting thrown around, but like it was just like there's no way that's not real.
Yeah.
You need to watch. I thought you were going to say the Clash where he fought the Mexican legend Mil Mascaras.
Oh, nice!
When he took the kick, fell straight back out. Jim Cornette swears up and down he was dead because you could hear the crack of his skull hitting the back. I was like, how does this guy keep getting up? I don't know. But yeah, that was my first venture into Cactus Jack. Then was when he took that bump like that. I was like, this guy's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, so many memorable matches. My God.
It's like getting tossed off the cage, off the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, dude, it broke him in half.
Tooth coming through his nose.
Yeah.
I used to buy every one of those pay-per-views. Yeah. And I skipped that one for whatever stupid reason.
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it. I had to wait for the fucking videotape.
Oh.
That one and the Owen one.
Yeah.
Owen Hart. Yeah, that was sad. I saw that one. I was watching that as it happened.
Oh man.
It was not good. I'm a Dale Earnhardt fan, and I've never seen the crash. I won't watch it.
Right.
But witnessing that night, knowing who he was to wrestling, it was tough, dude.
Let me ask you guys this. If you're Vince McMahon, do you keep the card going after that?
No. Absolutely not.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
I mean, I know Vince, and we know how Vince is. He's all about the cash, and it's about the people not wanting to send the people home and all that. But
dude,
you gotta have
blood was still in the ring.
Exactly. You look at the Undertaker and Austin, the main event that night, and when they're getting introduced, and Undertaker looking at that spot in the ring where his blood was.
I'm gonna tell you what. In all honesty, I understand why Vince did what he did. The stadium was packed. This was a pay-per-view. It's being seen everywhere. There's a lot of pressure there. Now, is there something they could have done to maybe make the blow a little easier? They could have replaced the ring curtain or the ring skirt. They could have done that. They could have done that to get the blood up out of there. Don't everybody knows what they're seeing there. But they probably weren't prepared for it. Number one.
Oh, no.
Right.
Number two. As a human being, there's two sides to a person when it comes to that. Your human being side and the businessman. And could you imagine what kind of a hit it would be for him to take a hit on a pay-per-view like that and send everybody home out of a packed stadium like that? I mean, it's still a lot to think about. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying you got to take a look at it from all angles.
Yeah, but
and was there anything further he could have done aside from leave the stadium and be at his side?
How much money would he have lost? How much money would he have lost versus how much money he gave that girl to shut her mouth?
Exactly. I mean, Jeff, I just think about this. I want to say the next match after that was Jeff Jarrett fighting somebody. And, Jeff and Owen were tag teams. They were traveling up and down the road with each other. Can you imagine your best friend gets wheeled by you? And Jarrett said Owen came by him and he was already turning blue. And he knows he's not going to make it. Can you imagine having to go out in the ring and put on a freaking show like that? When
the human side of me, like I know it's a lot of money. I know it is. But having that many people witness that tragedy,
right?
I'd go, look, it's guys, we have an issue here. You'll be refunded your money.
Yeah,
we've got to deal with this right now.
Hey, he would have had if it was no if I was a wrestler, he would have had to fire me that night because I would not have been able to go on. I mean, that's just me. I couldn't have done it if and as close as to watching them guys and I understand doing a tribute show to him, but parading them guys up there with the emotion they have, I had no problem with that ever. I loved it, but you're kind of being hypocritical there. Well, you got to put on an act tonight, do this show. How do you expect them to do that when the next night you're putting them on there and giving their real stories and breaking down and all that? You know, I lost a ton of respect for Vince after that. But
I will say this, and I just want to shed some light on this tragedy. Okay, we could only be so lucky. I know that sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, he died doing what he loved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of wrestlers you'll hear him talk. If I'm going to go, look at Flair. Flair's determined, I think, to go in the ring. I mean, he almost went that last match. He had no business doing some of the stuff he did there, and want to talk about doing another match. I hope he's joking. I hope that's just a rumor, but he doesn't need to do anything else.
Look, Flair looks like he's one step away from a stroke, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, and I seen him not too long ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw him.
He looks like he's one step away from a stroke. One more woo and he's out of there.
Going back to Mick real quick, Mick wanted to have one more match.
He's another one that shouldn't, dude.
Decided
Mick needs to stop. I mean, wrote several books. He's a very intelligent guy. I loved when he had his podcast for a little while. That was a great podcast.
Yeah.
And he just needs to not worry about doing that again. I mean, I don't think he's hurting financially for anything. So I would just live my life and be happy that I'm in as good a shape as I am right now, considering what I've done.
I think he's going to be here in Columbus on the 22nd.
Right.
Oh, cool.
I think. Yeah.
That would be a good one to go see because he's very, from what I hear, he's very receptive to people. He's not one of those that'll just brush you off real quick, or like he'll carry a conversation on with you too.
Oh, you mean he's not like Greg the Hammer Valentine?
Hey, he could have made my list too.
You want the Greg Valentine or the rhythm and blues version of it, Greg Valentine?
Yeah. Oh.
The black-haired version.
No, blonde-haired version.
Yeah.
With the leg brace.
With DDP, did y'all know that WrestleMania rhythm and blues wrestled the Hearts?
That's right.
DDP drove the whatever, what was it, a Cadillac?
Yeah.
And it was
out to the ring.
And it was Sherry Martel. It was Peggy Sue.
Peggy Sue, yeah. Exactly. So let's see who we got next. Tone, you're number 9.
Number 9. I say this guy's name because I know what he meant to wrestling. I can't say that I've seen a lot of his matches, if maybe a few when I was younger. If I was lucky to see him, However, I remember my dad talking about him a lot, and I honestly believe this guy, if it weren't for him, wrestling would have never made the transition into what it would eventually become. I think this guy kind of is one of those guys that laid down the groundwork, and we would be doing a disservice to not mention Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
Huh.
Tony, Frozen in Time.
I remember when I first started watching, Bruno was doing that Superstars of Wrestling, and him and Vince were doing the commentary. Of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruno wasn't the best commentator. He was definitely not as good a commentator as he was wrestling, but him and McMahon would go back and forth sometimes. Then every once in a while, I think Bruno was getting in a feud with Savage, a short-lived feud with Savage.
And Piper.
Yeah, over the Intercontinental belt with Savage for a little while. He did some cage matches with I think him and Tito Santana against Savage and adorable Adrian Adonis.
Adonis, yeah.
Excellent cage match. Oh,
yeah, Bruno was a legend. One of the things I think about with Bruno is how long he kept the belt. I mean,
Yeah.
And the guy that ended that reign, you remember Ivan? Can you
Ivan Putski?
Ivan Koloff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Koloff, and then superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah, because everybody was in shock that night when it happened. I've met Ivan, the late great Ivan Koloff, and thank God they finally put him in the Hall of Fame.
Was he related to Nikolai Koloff?
Nikolai Volkov.
Okay.
Now Nikita, you think about Nikita Koloff? That was the nephew Nikita. With Ivan, who was. But Nikita was the one in Crockett with him. But Ivan, the last time I saw Ivan, I actually do camera work for a local wrestling company around here. And actually Saturday night I have to go film, but he was there, and it was his birthday. It was the last birthday he had before he passed. And we were talking before, I asked him, I said, do you want me to carry some stuff for you in? And he was like, here, you can carry this. And he had the chain. I said, you want me to carry that chain? And he looked at me kind of funny. He said, I think I better carry that in. It might ruin my reputation if you don't. But he, at that time he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, and he was like, me and the young McMahon are going to have a little talk if I don't get in this year. So unfortunately he didn't get in before he passed away, but him beating Bruno, that was just a shock. And do you guys remember when the war really started with McMahon and the Crockett's and WCW about the first Halloween Havoc? They got Bruno to be the special guest referee for the main event to kind of throw shade back at Vince. Say, hey, we got your guy. We got your big guy now.
Well, yeah. Wow. I mean, Bruno was consistently pissed with Vince Jr. And the product and the direction that the whole company went. But yeah, I mean, Bruno, his legacy is just really unmatched in that early era. And he made, I mean, they sold out how many times at Madison Square Garden just because of the Italian American population and New York.
7 times.
Yep. Amazing.
Yeah. Bruno was Hogan before Hogan came along.
Yeah. And a good man, like legitimate, like a good man. So yeah, good pick.
Number 9 for me, man.
All right, number 9 for you, Bruce.
Well, you guys kind of brought him up passingly. He was the first Russian that I ever loved. The Russian sickle, like he was just when he first came out, with Ivan and then Barry Darso as the other Russian. Crusher Khrushchev.
Smack.
Nikita Koloff really set himself apart from the rest of them. And whether he was a heel or a fucking baby face, that dude was a monster.
Yeah.
An absolute monster. Those matches he had with Magnum TA. And then when when him and Dusty teamed up, when he turned, oh God.
Dude, that was one of the best babyface turns because nobody but Dusty, Nikita, and Jim Crockett knew about it. When you see him come in that cage or come down to the ring and you see J.J. Dillon and Ole, they're looking at, what's this kid? What's he doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And that pop he got when he goes after Ole. Yeah. Nikita was Nikita. I've had Nikita on the show, and
oh wow,
he was so good. But it's so weird listening to him talk in his American voice.
Oh, you want to talk about red-assed? When I found out that he wasn't really Russian, I was so mad. I was like, "What?" Same with Ivan Koloff.
Yeah,
both from Minnesota.
Yeah. Nikita was one of the things I asked him about. One of my favorite Nikita memories was when they Magnum hadn't been stripped of the belt yet, but they had a press conference, or not really a press conference. They had a contract signing, and it was Nikita and Ivan on one side, and Magnum and his mom on the other side. And Nikita ends up calling him a mama's boy, talking about you bringing your mother here. He calls him a mama's boy. Magnum jumps across the table, and of course Nikita and Ivan beat him down. But Nikita said Magnum didn't clue his mom in that this was fake. She thought this was real. He said her reaction to that is genuine. She's like, these guys are trying to kill my son. And
I love that.
Yeah, but Nikita was great. You have to go back and listen to that. That was, I was like really thrilled to get Nikita on the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, Nikita, oh man, when he was that heel coming out, and he just looked like a monster.
Yeah,
I mean, like a monster.
And he would take with that fucking sickle. I mean, he would just take your head off.
You remember when he clotheslined David Crockett? Right there when he was getting interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he killed David Crockett.
Had a couple good matches in 1986-ish. Was it like Starrcade 86? And then I think the Great American Bash was at 85, where it was Ivan and Nikita. Even Crusher Khrushchev versus Hawk and Animal in a chain match.
Yeah, that was Ivan and Nikita.
Yeah.
That's probably on that videotape you got. I think that's one of them on that. The Starrcade 86 was right after the babyface turn when he fought Flair. And if you go back and look at that, Nikita has a wardrobe malfunction. You know what Nikita wore? And the greatest referee. Yeah. The greatest referee ever, Tommy Young. Spots it over there while Nikita's down there, and he pops it back into place. I was like, ooh. But yeah, and you know when they put that on the network, Starrcade 86 on the network, I was like, there's no way they're going to still have this on network. It was there.
Went right over them. That's awesome.
Nikita.
Yep.
Nikita at number 9. So my number 9. It's a repeat. Bruce talked about him earlier. Of course, you know who it is. The Great Muta. I'm like you. Like I said, I won't take too much time talking about this. We already talked about him. But some of the moves he did, he was so smooth doing that freaking somersault, back elbow, the moonsault. Halloween Havoc 89, when him and Funk fought Flair and Sting in the Thunderdome.
Oh wow, I forgot about
that. They lowered that cage down, and they had fireworks going off. Part of the top of the cage caught on fire.
Yeah.
The legendary Bob Caudle, he announced, and he was like, they're watching it. Muta goes up there. Of course, he's got the little packet in his mouth. Muta goes up there and sends a spray out on the fire, puts a spray out with his and Bob Caudle was like, they're looking for a fire extinguisher. Muta said, yeah, I brought my own. So, yeah, the guy was so smooth. And I actually heard a story, Jim Ross on his podcast. I've never heard it till this week, that there was talk of putting the belt, the World NWA belt, on Muta during Flair's babyface run, letting Muta beat Flair. And they talked it down. And because Flair was like, I don't, at that time, everybody wanted to belt on Flair. But Ross was like, it wasn't like I was saying we're not going to put the belt back on Flair. I just thought it would be a good time
transition.
Put it on Muta. And Muta
didn't they end up putting it like a little bit later on? Didn't they end up putting it on like Tatsumi Fujinami or
Fujinami? That was the big thing where they said he wanted the belt in Japan, and then it was a big controversy. It was just the storyline where he came back at Super Brawl, the first Super Brawl, and fought Flair. Yeah. So that was.
Yeah, it's like why couldn't they? Yeah, I mean, Muta eventually became champion, didn't he?
Yeah, because he lost to Wyndham at one of the
this is after Flair left, right?
Wyndham wanted the belt, and I think Flair ended up getting the belt off Wyndham when he came back. So, yeah, it was Muda got done wrong after, he got on that hot streak where he was undefeated. He got the TV belt, and then after that disaster of a pay-per-view at Starrcade '89 with the Iron Man tournament, he didn't win a match. He lost his first match there, and it was just downhill from there. They just they pushed him
buried
out.
him.
Yeah, he was ready to go then. All right, so Chuck, you're number 8.
Number 8. Well, I mean, I don't know what you could say about this dude that hasn't already been said if you are any sort of old school wrestling fan whatsoever. AJPW tag champion with his brother Dory, Florida heavyweight champion and tag champion, ECW champion, Georgia heavyweight champion, NWA world heavyweight champion. That he beat Jack Briscoe, or I think, or was it, or yeah, maybe. Terry Funk.
Yes.
The first time I seen him wrestle was in WWF, but I was well aware of him because of the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what really got my fascination with Terry Funk, besides the movie with Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse, was when he pile drove, just a terrible pile driver on the table to Flair.
Yes.
He put the bag over his head.
Oh, that's right.
Lord, TBS lit them up for that.
No one had ever seen anything like that before. And then after that's when the whole middle-aged and crazy thing started to happen.
Yep.
And you could tell he was already hardcore in Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
When he brought that to the States, that was like the beginning, besides seeing Cactus doing what he was doing. Like, Terry was on like the same level.
Yeah.
And just got more hardcore as time went on.
Yep.
So much so that him and Cactus had that classic match in Japan, the King of the Death match.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he was one of the first people out there when Mick got thrown off the cage. Chainsaw Charlie thing.
Chainsaw Charlie.
Chainsaw Charlie.
But yeah, I mean, Terry Funk doesn't get talked about enough.
3-time NWA champion?
1-time world champion.
Just the one time. Okay.
1975 to 1977.
Yep.
December 75 to February of 77, I think. Losing at the Harley race.
Yeah. If you're going to lose to somebody.
The first memory I have of him was watching him in WWF when they had the Funk brothers. They didn't even call Dory. I think they called him Hoss Funk.
Hoss Funk.
Yeah. And he did have at one of the Saturday Night's main event a match with Hogan for the belt.
Yep.
That was great.
What really got me when he came, like you said, with Flair, when he was one of the judges at that match with Steamboat at Wrestle War.
Yep.
And he they're talking to him, and I was like, okay, Terry Funk's here. Why is he here? And you quickly found out, because he went from being this mild-mannered guy at ringside when they were talking to him, polite and all this.
I just wanted to congratulate you.
Yeah, I was only kidding with you. I don't want to challenge you. I just want to. He said, "Put her there, partner." And then next thing you know, he's going through the table. But yeah, and then he just went freaking crazy from that point on. One of the first Eddie Guerrero match I saw was on WCW against Terry Funk. I mean, that if you watch that.
Oh wow.
And but yeah, Funk. I mean, it's bad when Funk is one of the ones out there trying to tell Mick Foley, all right, no, you don't need to do any more. Come back. You need to just stop. So yeah, but Funk was legendary guy, legendary wrestler, still doing moonsaults in the 60s, and he had that resurgence in ECW. Yeah, he definitely gave a lot of his body to wrestling for sure.
The Jerry Lawler match.
Yeah.
When he attacked? Remember when he attacked the ring guy in WWF? I forget the guy's name. We got in a lot of trouble during the.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. I do know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah. Oh gosh, what's that? See, that's gonna bother me. Thanks, Chuck. That's gonna bother me the rest of the night now.
Yeah. But like that was one of the first memories too, was Terry attacking him.
Odin.
As well as he should have.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's great.
Number 8. Tone. What you got at number 8?
All right, so this is where my list kind of takes a little bit of, hey, this is my favorite list. Okay, I'm going to take a hit from some of your guys' thing. I'm looking up my guys as best I can to give you stats and whatnot. But we have a 3-time world champion, 2-time UWF world heavyweight title, 1-time AJPW Triple Crown, an immense success in Japan, and held the AJPW World Tag Team Championship 8 times, and was a 1-time WCW World Tag Team Championship. And this goes to Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Again, another monster.
I loved him, dude. He was exciting to watch, and he meant fucking business, dude. Like when he stepped in the ring, he meant business, dude.
It is so sad how his career ended, all because of fucking stupid ass Vince Russo.
Brawl for all.
Yep.
Yeah. So like in the UWF, when he got in his hand and his arm was in the cast and he was trying to make a comeback, and they played "We Are the Champions." They played that every week.
Yeah.
His like comeback, so he could I think wrestle One Man Gang or Big Bubba, one of the two.
Big Bubba's the guy he beat for the belt.
Okay. Then it was
One Man Gang had left and gone to because Bubba beat One Man Gang for the belt when One Man Gang left to go to WWF.
Become a team.
Yeah, but Dr. Death, remember Dick Murdoch, Akeem the Dream. Yeah, Dick Murdoch was the one that actually broke his arm. Him and Eddie Gilbert.
Redneck.
Yeah, Captain Redneck, and they. I remember them going through the Great American Bash that year. That was the big thing with him and Dick Murdoch having these just crazy matches at the Bash that year.
Yeah. Oh, and the matches that Dr. Death and Terry Gordy had.
Ooh, man. What about
the War Games from '89 to Bash in '89, where Dr. Death is pressing Terry Gordy in the cage over his head, up against the cage, over and over again, and I'm like, dude, that guy's just great. But you know what really messed Dr. Death up? You talk about the Brawl for All, but even before that, it's funny how Sting's injury messes up. His injury messed up the whole Flair program, but it also messed up Dr. Death because he was supposed to be in a program with Luger for the U.S. belt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was going to be at Wrestle War '89 because Luger had to move up and wrestle Flair. I don't even know if Dr. Death. I think he just got off the card after that. I don't even think they put him on the card, but he was supposed to fight Luger that night. So that messed him up. Yeah. So, but yeah, Dr. Death, watching him when I could actually late night sometimes with the antenna, I could pick up UWF wrestling. I remember watching him on that, and I was like, this guy's this is a monster, dude.
Yeah.
And then teaming up with Terry Gordy.
Yeah.
The Miracle Violence connection. Yeah, that was awesome tag team. The only ones that could really go, not only ones, but one of the only ones that could go head to head with physical with the Steiner brothers. I mean, with and all that. Yeah, that's Matt Menza, who is one of my co-hosts on the Sports Objective, former ECU linebacker, Dr. Death was highly underrated. Yes.
Completely agree.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, he was hands down one of my favorite, dude. He was a monster. He was an absolute monster in business when he stepped in the ring.
Yeah, great pick, Tony. That was great.
Yeah, definitely. Number 8 for you, Bruce.
Well, this one is a childhood favorite of mine. Knowing all what we know now as being, smart to the business, probably not so much. But when I was a kid, there was a void, kind of left behind when Hogan went off to do his movies and shit like that. Piper was gone. Savage was kind of transitioning, and we had from the bowels of the hell of making nonsense bullshit sayings, the Ultimate Warrior, dude. Shortest matches ever because he couldn't work. He would blow himself out. But my God, being a fucking 15-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid, watching him just go nuts is perfect.
Who is this lunatic that looks so cool?
And just boom, 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 boom.
With the tassels, had the tassels tied around his arm.
And I remember watching him with Sting as
Blade Runners.
As the Blade Runners, and then the Dingo Warrior.
The Dingo ate my baby.
From the what World Class. Yep. But Warrior, dude, man, when he first came on, I mean, he was just what.
Hey!
That's what I needed.
Let's not forget he beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
Changing of the guard.
Yep. It was great.
So come on now, give the man.
But he also had one of the worst ever pay-per-view matches against Hogan in WCW.
Yes.
Oh God, Hogan couldn't work
with him. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah. Hogan burnt himself more than he burnt Warrior.
Yes. And then the whole when he beat Honky Tonk Man in 15 seconds, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
it was like it was still the record. Bounce back and forth, splash, done. What? We got a new champ. So it was great.
Did the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship reign in 15 seconds. So.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell you what. If I'm Vince McMahon and I'm looking at the Ultimate Warrior, I'm looking at two things. Jesus Christ, he's built. Second, he's a fucking lunatic. This is perfect.
Yeah.
And finally, I mean, he's got an insane image. I mean, I don't care if he can do a figure 4 leg lock or not. He's got all the charisma and energy and look of being a wrestler.
But his biggest problem was he didn't respect the business.
No.
He didn't give a shit about the business. He didn't give a shit about the fans. It was a paycheck. And it was all about putting himself over with him trademarking Warrior and doing his stupid comic books. And it was just not good.
This gentleman's going to come up again later, and we agree on that. We know that we were going to cross the list at some point in time, but this gentleman is going to come up later. I'm going to tell you the one thing that upset me the most about the Warrior, dude. During the end of the run of the NWO, and this is probably what made me stop watching wrestling, Warrior came back and was like, OWN.
One Warrior
Nation.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I got excited. I was like, look, oh, my goodness, the Warrior's going to take down the NWO one splash at a time. And nothing ever came of that storyline.
Yeah, because he blew his contract negotiations. Yeah. He tried to hold him up for more money.
It's called too much ego.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Dude, but do you not recall how crazy the crowd went and how nuts you thought, holy shit, the Warrior's here?
Oh, yeah.
Well, which one was your favorite Ultimate Warrior? Was it the first one or the dead one?
Oh, yeah, the one that came back and helped Hogan at WrestleMania that year. That was not the real Ultimate Warrior.
God, that was a thing.
And he looked so much smaller. Like it didn't look like the same dude. But I never bought into that. I always thought, no, he's the same. He talks the same.
Yeah, steroids is a hell of a drug.
Matt is wondering our opinions on Roddy Piper. I mean,
I'm sure he's coming up.
Oh, he's definitely coming up.
I'm sure he's coming up.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So just hang on, Matt. We'll in a minute. But yeah, the One Warrior Nation. That
was probably why I stopped watching wrestling altogether. Was because I was excited to see the Warrior come back. It gave me a reason to watch wrestling. I didn't know that contract negotiations fell through, but if you ask me, however the contract negotiations went, when you saw the reaction from the crowd every time he showed up, and the fans were all losing their minds every time he showed up at home, you should have paid the contract. You should have paid the contract because you would have sold and been around a little bit more longer, most likely WCW, because you guys know they didn't last long after the whole NWA thing started to flop.
Well, the problem there is when you have too many NWOs, you have too many guys in the NWO. They should have kept it about 5 guys in the NWO, and just one NWO.
Yep.
And if one of them wanted to break away from it, let them break away from it, go to the other side. That was fine. Don't make an NWO Wolf Pack. Don't make, just
see
you didn't have a 4 horsemen East or a 4 horsemen West.
Listen, West Coast Avengers.
That is the equivalent of having a family TV show and you get used to all the characters. Then all of a sudden they adopted some other character and
Cousin Oliver.
Like that's what the equivalent of that is. I mean, it was not a good idea. I didn't like the whole Wolfpack thing.
Animal and Heidenreich.
What'd you say, Chuck?
Animal and Heidenreich.
Oh
God,
Lord.
yes.
God, don't even bring that up. I'd push that out of my head, dude. I'd push that out of my head, Chuck. Thanks for bringing that back into it.
Yes, that's what I'm here to do.
Hey, look, I done told you he'd be a phenomenal guy.
My number 8, and this guy, I mean, comes from a wrestling family. We've talked a little bit about him earlier. We talked about his brother-in-law, and just one of the smoothest looking wrestlers that I ever saw. I remember I saw him the first time. Saw him a little bit in WWF, but really when he came back to the NWA to Crockett in late '86, early '87, Barry Windham. I mean, black, or you could call him Blackjack Mulligan Jr. like he was first.
That's a good.
Dog.
Yeah, the Widowmaker, the Stalker. Vince just trying to bury him with the Stalker deal. I don't know what that was. But one of the smoothest looking guys. And to hear people talk about him, the guy never worked out, never lifted weights.
Yeah.
He was just natural.
Breeze through.
And I mean, this guy, I would love to have seen him in early 87, take the belt off Flair, because they had some crazy great matches. 60 minutes. They would go 60 minutes. And I mean, and then kind of got stuck in the middle a little bit. And then all of a sudden, here comes Luger. Luger and him, I mean, I understand the deal with him turning heel, but that Luger and Wyndham tag team, if they'd kept them together a little longer, I think that was a great tag team. The Twin Towers, one of the biggest pops I've ever heard on TV. That first Clash of Champions in Greensboro Coliseum, where Luger and Wyndham beat Tully and Arn for the belts. That crowd went crazy. But to get the phone call, because like I said, I didn't have cable, to get the phone call about a month or so later on a Sunday afternoon, and somebody says, Barry Windham's in the 4 Horsemen. I said, stop freaking lying, dude. And then to see it, and I'm like, holy crap. And he just went to another level when he went heel. He owned that U.S. belt and some of the matches he had. The match with Dusty at the Great American Bash was a great match. I mean, even though the whole Ronnie Garvin turning heel there, everybody just turned heel on Dusty. So, but yeah, Wyndham, and he was one of those guys that you could definitely so different as a heel than he was a babyface, though. But better to me, he was better as a heel. I liked him better as a heel.
Yeah,
he was great as a babyface, but even better as a heel. That was my favorite version of the Four Horsemen when he was in it, with him, Arn and Tully and Flair. Probably the best version of Horseman ever. But Barry Windham is my number 8.
Remember the match that he had Starrcade '87 with
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death for the Western States Heritage title.
He had the Western
we're just making shit up.
He had the Western States title, but the match was for Dr. Death's UWF championship. And
all right.
Yeah, and if you remember, Barry was like full-fledged babyface. Like, he wouldn't cheat or anything. And in that match, they were doing the whole crisscross thing, and Dr. Death tried to jump over Barry, tried to leapfrog him, and Barry's head hit him right in the nuts.
Yeah.
Barry wouldn't take advantage of that. Barry got him back in the ring, and then Dr. Death throws Barry out of the ring, or Barry flies over the top rope. He's hurt, and Dr. Death brings it back in the ring real quick and pins him. So they were teasing a heel turn for him then. But yeah, I remember that match. That was a pretty great match. I would have loved to see more with Dr. Death and Barry. That would have been a great feud there. But Barry was just, so, he wasn't one of those big muscular guys. He was just streamlined and
lanky, and that lariat, that fucking flying close, monstrous.
And then when he took on the claw, the black.
Oh yeah.
Claw with the black glove. Oh
yeah,
it was freaking awesome. But yeah,
on the mic, he was good on the mic too.
Do what?
He was good on the mic as well.
Oh yeah, he was good on the mic. Number 7 for you, Chuck.
Number 7. Oh, okay. So that would be. And I was going to wear my shirt, but it was dirty because I already wore it. The homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu.
Number 7 on your list.
Yeah.
Ooh. Whoa, Chuck. I figured he'd fall in at least your top 3, if not your number 1.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot before him though. That's the thing.
I'm so stunned at that where he's on your list.
Now I'm not personally familiar with a lot of Sabu stuff.
I put it past Terry. It's because of the innovation. Like no one had ever seen anything like that. Speaking of Terry Funk, the matches that they had with the barbed wire, he's taping his arm back up. The match in Japan with the Sheik and the fire death match. He was just like a part of so many first, and he's definitely an original at taking the extreme shit with the high flying shit to a whole different level that everyone would later water down and not use all the violence part, but the lucha libre style and things like that. Like Sabu was just on another level and did it with violence.
Yeah.
And was influenced by, Terry Funk and the Sheik and Abdullah. And, what other wrestler in that time was doing anything like that around 92, 93, 94?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that stuff in magazines, man. Sabu matches were always in magazines and stuff, man.
And then the monumental tag team, Sabu and RVD.
Yeah.
With what was that manager's name? The referee guy. God. Bill Alfonso. Yes, blowing the whistle the whole time. Jesus. But yeah. But yeah, Sabu at number 7. All right, Tone, you're number 7.
Hey, do you, Chuck, you want to do me a favor?
Uh-oh.
That picture you just put up, can you put that picture up again? Because if my calculation's correct, my guy, according to my screen, is just to the left. Gentlemen, we are talking about a WWE Hardcore champion with a record of 27 to 39 times, the ECW World Heavyweight Champion twice, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion once, and various WCW titles, including the United States Heavyweight Champion. He is also a 4-time ECW World Tag Team Champion, and in my personal opinion, the last of the great hardcore cats, Raven.
You mean Johnny Polo, right?
Thank you, Hottie.
Scotty Flamingo.
Hottie.
Hey, look, Raven, in my opinion, was the last of the hardcore cats that were doing real hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the youngest of the generation. You can't say anybody after that was bringing around Raven's rules style matches. There weren't many. You know, I liked his persona. I liked the darkness that he carried. I liked his moves. He was a fun and interesting guy to watch. However, there was it WWF time or something where he had this shtick of "What about me? What about Raven?" That went on that I wasn't exactly too hot on, but I really liked him as a hardcore wrestler, and the guy was known to take a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
We'd often talked about guys like Terry Funk, and we talk about guys like Sabu, and Sabu's got scars on his body to show it. You know what I mean? But we don't often talk about guys like Raven, who are the last. He's the last of the guard, and he was an interesting guy to watch, man. Unfortunately, it sounds like he's having some medical issues.
Yeah. To see the character changes, I mean, it just shows how talented he was to go from a guy like Scotty the Body in Pacific Northwest to Scotty Flamingo in WCW managing, I think, DDP and Vinny Vegas, and then to do Johnny Polo managing the Quebecers in WWF, and then all of a sudden he's Raven. I mean, he's this flamboyant guys in other places, and then he's just this dark guy in ECW with Raven. Yeah, I just remember one of the things about Raven, of course, the flock, but the appearance on MTV with him and DDP, with the Foo Fighters sitting there right next to DDP. All of a sudden, Raven comes out of nowhere with a stop sign and blasts DDP in the back of the head.
Scared the shit out of the Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Dave Grohl, I'm sure he probably had to change his pants after that, because you hear them in the back. Whoa!
I remember that shit.
Yeah, they had to they got out of Dodge really quick with that. But yeah, Raven was, Raven was Raven. I mean, he really, with that ECW run, and he fit in at WCW, but for a little while. But I think I know he wasn't happy in WCW. I mean, he goes back home to ECW and gets back going again. But yeah, like you said, Tony, he's having some health issues from what I'm hearing, and hopefully he'll be okay though. But what a talent he was, though. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah.
He's another one that had a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He sure did. Bruce.
And he did some announcing in WWF for a little while too.
Yep, he sure did.
Commentating.
Him, a lot of people did that commentating that you really wouldn't think they did it. Stan Lane did.
Oh yeah.
And they actually had a tryout for Jimmy Garvin, which was god awful. I don't know if you guys have seen it. You look it up on YouTube. Jimmy Garvin in WWF as a commentator. Oh, god awful.
That's hysterical.
The gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. Number 7 for you, Bruce.
All right. So, without this man, you would not have one of the greatest matches of WrestleMania history. You would not have some just fantastic matches with Ric Flair. He started off with Jay Youngblood as I think they were tag team champions, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And times. And I am talking about the one, the only Richard Blood, who makes his home in Knoxville, but everyone knows him as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That the absolute perfect matches that he had with Flair.
The trilogy.
And then that WrestleMania 3 match. No one else could have pulled that off with Randy. Nobody. And to this day, like, do you remember? I don't know. It's probably been 20 years ago now, but like when Jericho had that angle where
going against the legends,
fucking Steamboat still had it.
Steamboat showed right then because everybody was talking then. Steamboat should come back on tour and do some matches, some more matches.
No, I absolutely agree. The biggest thing that really hindered Steamboat's career was he wanted to be home more, and it was he had a lot of pressure from his first wife at the time, Bonnie. That's right. And he never fully recovered from that. But my God, his in-ring work was fantastic. The way he sold that whole neck thing, where the larynx thing. I mean, God, he was amazing. Those arm drags,
those deep arm drags.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and get this out of the way right now. My number 7 is also Ricky Steamboat. So
there you go.
Go ahead and get that. So we can talk a little bit, but yeah, Steamboat. When you look up babyface in the encyclopedia, Ricky Steamboat's face is right there because never turned heel.
No,
never
wouldn't make a good heel either.
No, he couldn't pull a heel off. I mean,
like he came close to, like, he was breaking a little bit of rules when he made his comeback against like Savage or when he went against Terry Funk.
Oh yeah.
And what was that like? Was that a Clash?
Yeah, that was that Clash, the one in Fort Bragg.
Yeah. Like,
it was right before Luca turned on him.
Yeah. And but it's just like he's one of the only ones. I think him and like I don't think Tito Santana was ever a heel.
I don't believe he was. Yeah, there's a few out there that never turned. You always get those on Facebook where they start in these wrestling groups where they say, who are these only ones that never turn heel? And Steamboats comes up and everybody puts these stupid ones in there. I'm like, God, no. John Cena. I was like, yeah, John Cena started out heel.
Idiots.
But
yeah, Steamboat for me, man, just what any match that he was in, he just made it 100% better.
Yeah.
Pure classic.
I mean, like you said, the WrestleMania 3 with Savage. I mean, what with everybody talking about the Hogan Andre with good reason, but that match kind of stole a lot of thunder from.
And it should have. It was the best match. That Hogan Andre match as a match itself was not good, but Andre was limited. I mean, what are you going to do? But dude, that was.
The only thing that bothered me about the Savage Steamboat match was you didn't have to have George Animal Steel involved.
How dare you? George
didn't have to have them involved, dude. That was crazy. Steamboat could have beat him on the phone.
He had a pretty match with Kelly Blanchard. Starcade 84.
Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, right. 80. 85. Yeah. 84.
Right before Steamboat left for WWF, and the first WrestleMania match, Steamboat versus the Executioner, who I think ended up being the Doink the Clown.
That's right, Matt Bourne.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about Bruce's pick?
Yeah, and that was my pick too. So Steamboat was my number 7 too. So.
Oh wow! Oh cool!
Yeah.
And you know that's the funny thing is it's going to be interesting who we all cross with in regards to who's on the same list and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chuck's probably going to have the most diverse list.
Probably so. Chuck, speaking of Chuck, let's get to your number 6.
All right. Well, this dude, I believe, got a start in 1983. And around 1986, I started seeing in magazines this tag team that wasn't the Rock and Roll Express. It wasn't the Midnight Express. But it was the Midnight Rockers.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels. I mean, like, that's when everybody knew who at least he was. But like him, I mean, you can go through the tag team and you know some of the matches. I thought they were underused or not used well in WWF. Because they should have been tag team champions, even though they kind of were.
Kind of, yeah.
They
really were. I mean, dude, just documented now.
But once Shawn Michaels became a singles wrestler, man, he's had so many great matches, whether he wins or loses.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of that Sabu shit, like he did it in a more of a mainstream way, like doing, you know, the moonsault, like, you know, the springboard moonsault off the second rope in to the, not to the crowd, but onto the floor. And I mean, and just things like that, like, and then the Bret Hart match, WrestleMania 12, the ladder matches, and then when he came back, he didn't have a bad match when he came back, except for you can pick on the one with Hulk Hogan because he was selling, flopping around and. You know what?
I honestly thought that was hilarious
because that was Sean being a dick.
But the lead up to that, the Larry King stuff, like where he was doing that skit was fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
But yeah, dude,
you talk about being a dick, but that was just throwing shade back at Hogan for Hogan being a dick.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah,
brother. Yeah, I mean, like, really, I can't really point at any bad matches.
Mm-mm.
Even as he was becoming the Heartbreak Kid.
That heel turn, just the way they did that heel turn against Marty and did that fucking super kick right through the fucking, you know, the barbershop.
Through the window.
Yeah, and it was just great. Like
you finally seen blood again.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts of that was Bobby Heenan up there. Look at Jannetty. He tried to jump through that window to get away from him. Howard.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels is my number 6. There's a shoot interview there.
Yeah.
Nice. Good pick, man. He could have made my list too. He honestly could have made my list too. I think he could have made, if he hasn't made anybody else's list, he could have made their list as well. It's hard to deny that, you know, and once again, this is one of those cats that have been in the business for years, decades, you know.
And let's not forget, like, while we're still talking about Sean, that clothesline that he took from Hakeem and WrestleMania 5. The way he sold that clothesline where he just flipped over. I mean, literally, we thought he was dead. Like, oh,
and that wasn't overselling like it was in the Hogan match. That was he took that shot.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. All right, Tone. You're number 6, Tone.
I might get a little bit of flack for this. and that's okay. I'll take the flack for it. This gentleman was a WWF Intercontinental Champion 2 times. He was a WWF European Champion 1 time and held that during 1998 through 2000. He was a World Tag Team Championship 1 time and CMLL World Heavyweight Champion 1 time. Hello, ladies. Val Venus.
Oh, my.
Oh, get out of here. Val fucking Venus.
Chuck fell out. Chuck fell out.
I told you guys there'd be some controversial picks. This is my list. We've all agreed it's my list.
You're right.
I liked Val because, man, he had one of the coolest intros. He was a good wrestler, but his shtick as this ladies man that would come out to this saxophone intro and hello ladies and the shit that it got him into was some of the coolest storylines ever, and that reason there is why I dig Val Venus.
Until Kai and Ty got a hold of him. Oh,
I told you
Lord,
there was. Hey, listen. I told you there was. My list was going to have some controversial picks. Some things people won't agree with, but I dig the guy, man. I dug his shtick, dude.
Please tell me number 5 is not going to be Van Hammer for you.
Carlito,
I spit in the face. No, hey, like we said before this started, guys. This is all about who our favorites are. You know, Lasertron might come up and be my number 1 up here. So, you know,
hey, look,
but that's my list. That's what I'm saying.
It was a fun stick, dude. You couldn't tell me.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't know once you heard "Hello, ladies" and the freaking saxophones kick off that you weren't in for a decent fucking wrestling match because the dude could fucking wrestle.
You really didn't know what you would.
He could wrestle for sure.
He could wrestle. What was his? And then he became. Didn't he get in? He went from that to Right to Censor for a little while, where they had that little group with him and I think the Godfather actually ended up in there. Stevie Richards and Ivory.
Maybe.
Yeah, they go from one extreme to the other there.
That's so funny.
Val Venus. Wow.
I know none of you saw that coming. I know none of you.
No, I did not see Val Venus making any of our list tonight. So you got me there, bud. You got me. All right, Bruce.
Was like, I thought that really kind of neutered him a little bit. When they cut Val Venus' hair,
when they cut his hair, dude, I was pissed. I was mad. I was like, that was his whole shtick, man. The hair looking like some kind of Adonis out there. You know, that was his whole shtick. And then you just like trimmed his whole shit up. Like, nah, that doesn't look good on the motherfucker, dude. And then he was bald there for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, because then he became one of like Vince's lackeys for a little while. He was like He kind of and that was they should have kept the whole Val Venus stick going.
Yeah. It was a cool stick, man. I didn't expect it to last long. Don't get me wrong.
It's
that kind of a cringy ass shtick, but you know what?
It fit the Attitude Era.
It did.
Yeah, it fit the Attitude Era. So Bruce is number 6.
All right. I remember when I first watched his first world championship title win. Like there was something in me as a kid that made me feel proud to be an American.
Oh gosh.
Now some people might give me crap for him being so low on the list, but the way that he transcended the business, the way that he is an absolute icon, and the way that even as a baby face, he was still breaking the rules. And it was, he was always toeing that line. I loved his big heel turn with the NWO. And that is the immortal Hulk Hogan. So many classic matches, so many great feuds. He's an icon.
Well, he was the one responsible for the wrestling boom in what 84.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hulkamania and the WWF. It was just the perfect storm happened there.
Thunderlips.
What Thunderlips is here in the flesh, baby. So, what wrestler at that time did you think was going to host Saturday Night Live? I mean, you know.
Oh yeah,
Hogan was all over the place. You know, as a Crockett guy, the argument was always who's the better champion, Flair or Hogan, and Hogan will say Flair can out wrestle me 10-1.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it. But Hogan, like you said, had that charisma. And I mean, it just, like, no pun intended, it ran wild. I mean, but the heel turn, in my opinion, is probably the best heel turn in the history of wrestling.
Yeah,
that could be debated, I'm sure, but I mean, when he came out there, I was like, okay, he's the third guy. Mm-hmm. But leading up into that, I never thought Hulk Hogan was going to turn heel.
No.
I mean, that never entered my mind. But talking about somebody reinventing yourself.
And he totally leaned
Hollywood Hogan.
Yep. And then I love that match he had with The Rock. Yeah. Where, like, he was forced to become the good guy on that.
The crowd made him.
Yeah. It still gives me goosebumps watching that match. Just the back and forth between him and The Rock, and just them acknowledging the energy of the crowd. It's fantastic cinema.
The late great Hulk Hogan. So
that's right.
Number 6 for you. So
yep.
My number 6. Hold on. We'll go ahead right into full mode right now. Is the whatever you want to call him, Poffo, Randy Poffo,
Bonesaw,
Macho King, whatever you want to call him, Bone Crush, Bonesaw. Bonesaw is ready. I mean, yeah, Randy Savage, man, from the first time seeing this guy, and you know, as a kid back then, I was pulling against heels. I mean, I hated heels. But there was something different about this guy. The best thing I saw was when he turned babyface that night on Saturday Night's Main Event and him and Hogan joined up the Mega Powers. And I'll tell you guys this: when they split up, I didn't side with Hogan. I sided with Savage. I was like, Hogan's a prick. Look at him. He's got lust for Elizabeth.
Lust in your eyes.
Yeah, lust in your eyes for Elizabeth, man. Brother. Yeah, but you know, so many great matches for Savage, and then to see him come back, you know, after WWF had pretty much written him off, and to go to WCW and get that career revitalization, and you know, did I like some of the stuff with Savage? I didn't understand how they did him in WCW because they had that whole thing with Sting, did the crow look, and Savage came out there with him a couple of times, and then all of a sudden Savage joined the NWO. I was hoping it was going to be Savage and Sting, and they would be recruiting guys to go against the NWO. But man, one of the best feuds Savage ever had, Savage versus DDP. And
those are great.
DDP to this day says Randy Savage made my career. You know, when Savage laid down for him and let him beat him. And, you know, but Savage was all about what's best for that. And you talk about Savage versus Steamboat. I don't know if you ever saw the documentary, Steamboat talking about the pages and pages, move by move, that Savage had wrote out for that match.
And they would count out the numbers.
Yeah. And Steamboat was just shocked that Savage came, because Savage came to him and said, all right, I've got the breakdown of how this match is going to go. And he looked at that list. He was just like, holy crap, this is, you know, Savage. But yeah, I mean, I love the guy. I love Savage. And just, you know, the way he ended with WCW, you know, where they did the whole, I didn't understand the whole thing with him and that gorgeous George girl. He went out, and to have that one match in TNA which was a send off. But and it took too long for WWF, which I know there was some lingering feelings there between him and Vince over a rumor, I guess. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I won't mention that rumor that goes around about him and a McMahon family member. But Savage was just talking about charisma, that voice, and the rap album. I mean, Be a Man, Hulk Hogan. You know, that's something I need to bring you guys back on. We need to do a review of the Randy Savage rap album.
I was going to mention the album myself.
Yeah, but Randy Savage is my number 6.
That's great.
So Chuck, number 5.
Number 5. I mean, my number 5 comes from a extremely famous wrestling family who had many wrestlers within that, family that were not necessarily great. There was 2 or 3 of them that were great. The other ones were teachers, and their dad had his own wrestling company called Stampede Wrestling.
Yes.
And I didn't know of Bret the Hitman Hart until the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
But he had just as many great matches within the tagging with Anvil.
Yes.
That he, as he did as a singles wrestler. And, people say, he wasn't that good on the mic. He didn't have to be.
Right. You're absolutely right.
He seemed like, especially during his singles time, he seemed real. And then, our friend Blue brought up earlier when me and him were talking about it, his 1997 promos were the best in the business at that point. But I mean, people think that he whines a lot because of the Shawn Michaels thing or the Bill Goldberg thing. I think that he has legitimate gripes in some of those areas.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, dude. I think Bret was great. I think he's probably one of the greatest wrestlers to ever, if not the greatest wrestler ever to do it, especially for his era. And it's just unfortunate that there were these situations that happened around him that kind of tarnish his legacy.
Yep. The matches that he had, the one that he had with Roddy Piper, WrestleMania 8.
Yep.
Obviously, Steve Austin. He made Steve Austin that night. WrestleMania 13.
What about the match with Mr. Perfect, the Intercontinental Championship match?
I mean, he had a couple of, like SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Perfect was hurt.
Perfect had a back injury. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them still put on a great show. They had a rematch later on with both of them were babyface, I think, in a King of the Ring, but that didn't come close to matching that SummerSlam one. That was just a great match.
Who could forget about him losing the title to Bob Backlund? What a comeback! Oh wow! Sure, fine. Lost it he lost it to Kevin Nash, in 50 seconds or whatever, like the next night. But still, I mean, he could make anyone look great. Like a real ring general, and just one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Just so many great matches that we have probably all forgot about.
Yeah, you've got him at number 5.
He's number 5.
Nice.
Yeah, a little comment from somebody on YouTube. Ringo Finch 69. People don't realize how athletic Savage was. Tremendous athlete, and love this show, guys. It's hard to find knowledgeable wrestling fans. and the match with Mr. Perfect was crazy.
Well, yes.
Ringo Fit 69. Like I said, we are the nation of useless information, especially about wrestling. So you come to the right place if you're looking for knowledgeable wrestling fans for sure. So number 5, Tone.
Number 5, we're going to revisit a gentleman we spoke about earlier. I got to give it up to the Warrior again, dude. I was a huge Warrior fan, and the Warrior was actually probably the reason I, once again, probably stopped watching wrestling. I got all hyped up for the One Warrior Nation thing, looking to see him take on the NWO. I thought it was kind of cool to see that. I thought that maybe it would play out where him and Sting could take on the NWO, and it would have been a thing. But it was a big letdown, obviously, because contracts weren't signed. But the Ultimate Warrior, man, I'll never forget. Just there was this thing, man, that like you heard his music and he came to the ring, and there was just this energy, and it was electrifying. And yes, matches were short, but it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
He was a hell of an entertainer. You know, the ring attire and face paint. I mean, it was crazy, you know, and he was a monster. I remember watching WrestleMania 6 when he took down Hogan. Yeah. And I just remember going, man, you know, it's finally time somebody did take Hogan down, you know? And
there was some fatigue there for sure.
Yeah, I was instantly a fan, man, you know, just like. And anytime he's ever popped back up, like I remember when he popped back up in WCW out of nowhere, dude. Yeah. I remember jumping up out of my seat going, holy cow, it's the freaking Warrior coming back. Like what? Like, you know, I was probably like you guys, man, this dude's dead.
I thought he was gone, yeah.
So yeah, number 5 for me, the Ultimate Warrior, man, hands down.
The only time I didn't like his ring attire was that stupid. I think he fought Savage at SummerSlam over in England, and he wore it looked like a toned down version of Giant Gonzalez's bodysuit. It looked.
Yeah.
It was god awful. I didn't like that. He should have just stuck to regular shorts and the tassels, and he would have been fine. But he wanted to go with that. He thought that would be a good idea. Wrong. That was a bad idea for the Warriors.
He was just a madman, dude. Like
he was.
He brought a level of like, he was one of those guys you could look at and go, anything could pop off anytime with this dude.
Yep. Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Bruce, number 5.
All right, number 5. I remember as a kid seeing this guy come out of nowhere and just being absolutely scared to death. Like, and I really thought for a hot second this dude was immortal. Again, dumb kid. Totally. I loved every iteration of his character, whether it was, you know, the old school purple shit to the American Badass to whatever. Undertaker's number 5 for me. Just an absolute general in and outside of the ring. And you can't talk about Undertaker without Paul Bearer.
Or the Kane matches.
Yeah.
Or the Kane matches. Several Kane matches, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
How about the 2 back-to-back WrestleManias with Shawn Michaels?
Yes. Everything he touched was gold. And, you know, I'm still pissed that the streak was ended and how it ended.
Didn't Goldberg end that streak?
No, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah, well, that would make sense. Yep. Brock's the only reason WWE still exists today. You want to ask my opinion? Anytime the company's starting to fail or things are starting to wane, who do they bring back?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Well, Roman's the guy carrying the candle and the torch now. But anytime they want to bring, you know, more excitement back, all right, we're going to bring Brock back. You know.
Yeah.
it's just it's their go-to guy. It can't be Steve Austin right now.
No.
Steve can't wrestle anymore.
No.
Yeah, with Kevin Owens like that at that one WrestleMania.
Yes.
Like he could have came back.
Yeah. But no, for Taker, for me, like he's just.
And he just retired.
He's iconic. A few years ago,
for sure. Years ago, yeah. He's still working for. He's the one that makes all the. WWE's taking a page out of NFL with the Hall of Fame book. Undertaker's the one that.
Yeah, he made the call. Everybody. He made the call recently to.
Oh yes, Ringo.
Yes.
He made the call to Demolition here recently, which I think is great. And one of those, Bruce was reminding me that one of the guys was the original Masked Superstar.
Yeah.
And
Bill Eadie.
He almost made my list, but got swapped out for Bruno Sammartino.
Interesting.
You think about this guy, and this will come up again too. Undertaker was in WCW as Mean Mark Callis. They had him there. And freaking Ole Anderson told him he was no talent. He had no talent.
No one would pay money to see him.
No one will pay money to see you.
How many times Spivey as a tag team?
Yeah. The new Skyscrapers.
Yeah.
After Sid left. But and I mean, a lot of people don't realize one of the original Heyman guys too, when Paulie Dangerously managed him in WCW too, as with Meet Mark. But you talk about WCW really screwing up. I mean, they didn't know what they were doing in that era. And I'm a WCW guy, but Undertaker, that would have never happened in WCW.
For as much as WCW got right, they sure did get a lot of shit wrong.
Well, one of them's coming up on my list in just a minute too, because my number 5 is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin.
I remember reading the magazines, and I know, Chuck, you talk about you've got a ton of magazines. Inside Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, every month when it would come out, I'm getting it, or I'm going against the rules of the store. Don't read unless you're going to buy. I was reading right there, but hearing about this guy, Steve Austin, down in Texas, with that feud with Chris Adams, and I see this guy, and I'm like, wow. that guy's going to be something. You keep your eye on this guy. And then I go to a match in '91, I believe, at the Richmond Coliseum, Great American Bash Tour. And I look up, and here comes Stunning Steve Austin with, what was it? Lady Blossom, I think was his valet then. And he fought Bobby Eaton. He had just beat Bobby Eaton for the TV belt as soon as he got there. But he had the long ponytail. I mean, the sparkly robe. Definitely not the Stone Cold look. But even with that Stunning Steve Austin look, this guy had talent. I mean, you could tell it then. And WCW just misused it so bad.
Yep.
Even with the Hollywood Blondes, they should have kept that tag team together. Yeah, they should have kept him and Pillman together longer. That was stupid. But even when you put the U.S. belt on him and have him lose, no offense to Hacksaw, but Hacksaw was aging and beat Steve Austin in like really quick. I don't know what the time was. It was less than 2 minutes. I mean, you look at the last two with Bruce with the Undertaker and me with Stone Cold. Just not really knowing what to do with these guys. And give it to Vince. Give it to Vince and his crew. They knew exactly what to do with him. I mean, when Stone Cold comes on the scene, it's the biggest phenomenon since Hulkamania.
Yep.
It's Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass." People were just like, "Holy crap, where did this guy come from?" But I mean, what can you say with Stone Cold though? Yeah. He's had so many great matches. It got slowed down by that neck injury. Yeah. Unfortunately, who knows what would have happened if that hadn't happened with that? But the great feud and then go back and you know, Monday nights, I go to my cousin's house every Monday night. We flip between Raw and Nitro. The reason you flipped over to Raw was here just pretty much to hear what Stone Cold was going to say and what the heck he was going to do to somebody, whether it was a Rock, whether it was Heart Foundation or whoever. You know, I'm going to stop a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. That was the first time I'd ever heard that. But yeah, Stone Cold was a legend, and
I drank one beer.
What?
I drank 2 beers.
What? But yeah, and you know, the first really that I can remember of a guy beating up his boss. I mean, you know, he made the Mr. McMahon character from that. So, I mean, yeah, Austin was number 5 for me.
His feud with Ricky Steamboat.
Oh yeah,
about that.
But basically, the end of Ricky Steamboat's career.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this too. If you haven't watched some of these, before Wyndham turned heel, when Stone Cold was part of one of the most underrated factions in the history of wrestling that didn't last long enough, the Dangerous Alliance. I mean, you look at that from top to bottom, Ravishing Rick Rude, Bobby Eaton, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, Steve Austin, Medusa, and Paul Heyman. Man, but the matches he had over the TV title with Barry Windham. Oh, good
great
Lord,
stuff,
dude. Yeah,
I think it's safe to say when I say this, and Steve Austin could have made my list as well. But the one thing I want to say in regards to Steve Austin that I think everybody here can agree with, he is absolutely 110% without a doubt the most incredible changeover of a character ever. Ever. You went from being this guy that was barely utilized to being this holy shit, who is this lunatic on the run ready to stomp mud holes in everybody's asses and drinking beers and driving 4-wheelers into the damn
driving
stadium.
a beer truck in there.
Yeah.
Everybody down with beer.
He it's very easy to see how he could feed a long line of generation of wrestling lovers. He was a redneck's dream come true.
Yes.
Almost a throwback.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had one of the greatest switches of all time, you know, with that WrestleMania 13 match between him and Bret.
Oh yeah, that was a double switch that night.
I don't think I ever like that in my lifetime.
Yeah, Rick Rude was a real life badass. His bar fight, yes, definitely. Rude was a shooter for sure. Oh God! Please don't do that again.
Who remembers when Rude was wearing the pants with Elizabeth on the front?
It wasn't Elizabeth. It was
Jake Roberts.
Oh, Jake the Snake's wife.
Jake Roberts.
Snake's wife. My bad.
All right.
What?
Let's see. Number 4 for Chuck.
Number 4. He's been brought up already. He spent a tiny bit of time in our hometown of Columbus. The first time I knew who Randy Savage was in 1980. Was it 5? Remember when they were trying to do the like his manager?
Yeah, see who would be the manager.
Oh yeah.
Freddie Blassie, Bobby Heenan, Jimmy Hart. I had everybody, and then he brings out Elizabeth, and like that was immediately different.
Yes.
But like the matches that he had with Hulk, like early on before there was like a full-on feud, I mean, like those were some great matches. I mean, like if you go back to like Hogan's, or it might be on Savage's DVD as well. But like some of them older Hulk versus Savage matches are like totally underrated. The match in WrestleMania 5, which is Mega Powers Explode.
Yeah,
there was blood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
had blood.
Let's open.
What's that?
Yeah, Hogan got busted open on that one. I remember that.
Yeah. And then like how like the match that he had with Crush, WrestleMania 8, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it was towards the end there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a clusterfuck of a match, but that was him trying to like say, I can have a match with like give me him.
Yeah.
Because Vince was trying to go younger. Or we already talked about Randy versus Ricky Steamboat, or the WrestleMania 4 tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
4 times, I think.
Yeah, 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And all the matches were I mean, like I think there was a couple quick ones, but I mean he put on a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
The pages of how they're going to lay out the matches and all that. I mean, all of that's like pretty legendary. I wasn't a fan of the Gorgeous George era.
No.
But like he had so many great matches, and the fact that they had what was the wrestling company that the Poffos had?
ICW.
Yeah, there were some good matches in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that feud that he had with Tito Santana, and those matches were fantastic.
Yeah.
If I remember right, didn't Savage win the Intercontinental title from
Tito?
Yeah.
Yep.
The WrestleMania 5 match, a lot of people don't realize. I don't know if you guys remember. He wrestled that with a staph infection in his arm. His arm was wrapped up. They didn't even know if he could go. He had a fever. But you weren't going to keep Savage out of there. That's one thing about it. Savage was going to go. If it was any way, he was going to go. So 4 was Randy Savage. All right, Tone, you're number 4.
It's funny that Savage come up right before my guy. I guarantee my guy's not on anybody else's list. But let me give you a little background. Let me give you a little background on this gentleman. He is a WCW World Championship Tag Team Championship holder with the Great Muta. He is a AAA Lucha Libre Worldwide World Tag Team Championship, JCW 3-time championship, CMLL NWA World Light Heavyweight Championship, UWA World Heavyweight Championship, IWA Hardcore Championship 4 times. Other notable titles: FILL Heavyweight Championship, NWE World Heavyweight Championship, and WSX Championship. He is a PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked number 31 of the top 500 single wrestlers in the PWE 500 in 2000. And that would be Vampiro. So a lot of people would say I'm a fan because I'm a Misfits fan. I'm a Misfits fan. Okay, no, silence, Bruce. A lot of people would say I'm a fan because I'm a Misfits fan, and he did do a stint with the Misfits.
Yeah.
However, collating this with the era of Savage with Gorgeous George, there's a story about how Savage was looking for Doyle because eventually Doyle and Gorgeous George would be together. They would be together for a period of time. And they actually had a band called Gorgeous Frankenstein. And this was before he would get with Elisa White Glues from Arch Enemy. However, Savage was searching the dressing rooms and going through the stadium looking for Doyle, yelling, "Where's Doily at? Where's Doily at?" So there's a story out there about that. But what I want to get at is it wasn't the gimmick of being the vampire or anything like that. In all honesty, it was his finishing move. The nail in the coffin looked just absolutely brutal. And sometimes when he pulled that off, it looked like he was splatting these motherfuckers directly into the mat. Like it looked bad at times. But yeah, the nail in the coffin is one of my favorite finishing moves. I believe it would be an inverted suplex almost like a not quite a pile driver, but in pile driver position. You know what I mean? It was just a nasty move. And I liked him as a lucha libre. I wasn't a big lucha libre fan, but I dug him. And yeah, the image kind of fit the whole vibe. The nail in the coffin thing was kind of cool, and he had some good matches. Not to mention he got to hang out with the Misfits. So
There you go.
They had a pretty intense feud with Sting for a little while there. Burnt Sting up. I think, but yeah, Vampiro was one of those. Just like Bruce, I was like, when you had face paint on, I guess from being a Kiss fan at an early age, those guys with the face paint always made you look again at them and think, yeah, these guys are pretty cool. And Vampiro was one of those for me.
He's a great wrestler.
Much, except I heard of him. Matt Menzies. He thought Vampiro literally killed Sting one night when he smashed him on the cement floor and knocked him out. But yeah, Vampiro number 4.
He was a great dude. He's a great wrestler. I loved watching him wrestle, and that finishing move, the nail in the coffin, was absolutely just brutal at times.
All right, number 4 for you, Bruce.
Well, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. I loved all iterations of this guy. I remember him coming out as a bad guy in the UWF. He started off as Surfer Sting. Then we got into the Crow Sting, and then he just turned into the Icon. Sting was just so different. He was so cool in that Stinger Splash. And when he would just yell out in the crowd and wow, just he was cool as shit. And again, matches that he had with Ric Flair.
Yes.
Flair
made him.
And even turning into the Crow. What a hell of an idea.
Well, yeah. And because that whole surfer thing kind of went by the wayside, he found a way to make himself relevant, and man, phenomenal.
You do know whose idea that was for him to do the Crow?
Who?
Scott Hall.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Scott Hall talking to him backstage about it. You should do the Crow thing.
Hey, yo.
When he was doing his hair a little bit darker at the time, it wasn't bleach blonde, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe you should do something like the Crow or something. You'd be good." And Sting was like, "Okay." So, and he had the easiest job for a year. He didn't have to say a word. He just sat up there and watched from the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe every once in a while come down from the rafters or something. But
yeah,
he had the easiest job for a year.
It was great. And I remember at this, I might be remembering this wrong, but when he first came out, like after the Blade Runners and all that, he was in the same camp as like Kevin Sullivan. So it was like Kevin Sullivan, Rick Steiner.
Oh no, it's Eddie Gilbert.
Yeah.
Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie
Okay.
Gilbert was his manager. It was God, what did he call it? Hot Stuff Incorporated, I think is what he called it.
National.
Yes, that's it. Hot Stuff
International.
At first, because he had him, Rick Steiner, Sting, and Missy Hyatt was the manager.
Yeah.
So, which he stole her from Johnny Tatum, Hollywood Johnny Tatum. So, that like I said, and I'll just save that for later because Sting will come up later and for me. But Sting, talking about reinventing yourself.
Yeah. He absolutely, and again, WWF really shit the bed when they brought Sting in finally, and they just squashed him, killed him.
If that injury doesn't happen in that Seth Rollins match, I just wonder what happens with Sting in WWF.
You make that work.
You've got to make that work.
Yeah, they totally dropped the ball.
But the thing is, when you've got Triple H and Vince there as the poster child for WWE, and then you got Mr. WCW coming in, how much are you going to push him? Vince has that reputation of hey, unless I'm going to reinvent him, like say the Undertaker or Stone Cold, if he's coming by his WCW moniker, he's not going to get far here. He may have a little success at first, but then all of a sudden he's going to flatline, and it's just going to be like that.
It was a wasted opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. All right, number 4, and you talked about him earlier. This guy used to be higher up on my list, but I guess fatigue a little bit with him. He's the legend. He's probably one of the great, if not the greatest wrestler of all time. And I'm talking about the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Watching him and Crockett and the man you love to hate back in the 80s.
Yes.
Because watching him week after week coming out with the Horsemen and like, God knows, can somebody please beat this guy? And then, my first really venture full time was the Great American Bash '86 when he did that, 20 some guys in 20 days on that tour. And, you go back and look at it now, he fought Dusty like 4 or 5 times. And it wasn't, of course, Dusty's going to book himself to beat Flair at that. But, Flair had that charisma. And I mean, God, you can't take anything away from him. I've got a story to tell him. I'm not going to go too long with Flair. My cousin worked at a sporting goods store, and they would have a show, like a convention they go to every year in Atlanta. And this was 1990. I don't know if you guys remember about the time that WCW had entered into like a promoting that shoe with the zippers, Ruse.
Right.
Yeah. Great idea,
Ruse.
right? Well, they're there. They're staying at the Omni Hotel, and the Omni is where the show is. They're getting ready to walk over that morning to the show. All of a sudden, this big black Cadillac comes barreling around the corner, almost hits them, and it pulls off into the grass up ahead. And you see the door open slow. You see a leg get out real slow. They're looking like, who the heck was that? And all of a sudden, you see, here he is in his glory. Ric Flair gets out, that hair everywhere. His necktie is sideways around it. He gets out. He comes over to them. He said, "Did I almost hit you guys?" And they were like, "Yeah." He said, "I apologize." He said, "But try to understand. The Nature Boy has had a rough night." And he said, "Are y'all going to the show?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll be there." He said, "Stop by my booth." He said, "I'll hook you guys up." And then he looked at it, the bellboy or whatever came out there. He said, he looked at the bellboy and said, "Can you get me to my room? Because I've had a rough night." And they were like, "He won't ever remember us." So they went by.
The sad thing I hear in regards to Flair, man, is he's got a serious drinking problem. Dude.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. No doubt. Yeah.
I don't know how much more the gentleman can pickle himself.
I don't either. But
he's gonna try.
Later on that day, they went by the booth and they said he'll never remember us. And as soon as they walked up, he came out and said, "You're the guys I almost hit today, right?" And he hooked them up. He autographed a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, Flair.
I wish, and I'll be honest with you, if there's anybody that I think can do it, I wish DDP would snatch Flair up and let him take care of him. Because DDP has done a lot to help some wrestlers in bad shape.
I mean, between Hall and Jake,
Butterbean,
yeah. But
listen, there's something about DDP that gets these guys to listen, and they get themselves together, dude. He did it for Jake the Snake. Like, I'm telling you right now, dude. Like, I think if somebody could set that up and fucking. DDP sits down in front of Ric Flair and goes, "Look, man, I'd like to see you in better shape. We got many more years we could put together, man." But
I would love to see it, Tone, but I think Flair's ego, and when Flair gets out of a freaking rehab center and gets one of those little whatever coins that they give you when you get out of there, I don't know, and he goes across the street to the bar and says, "Can I buy a drink with this coin?" Yeah, that's when you're, and I loved Flair for a long time. He was my number one for a long time, but his whole attitude since this whole health scare, where he don't care. He's just keeping on doing the same stuff that put him in that coma that when you go in that kind of situation where you almost die, you're in a coma, and I mean for that long, and if that doesn't scare you into, hey, I need to get myself straight, or I'm not going to be here much longer. Especially after the way he lost his son, after he lost Reed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that affected him a lot, but after you lose somebody that way, you almost lose your life. That doesn't scare you. I don't know if DDP can get him straight. I mean, I know.
Yep.
I would love to
the powers that be aren't leaving you on Earth because they want you gone. If they wanted you gone, you'd be gone.
He'd have been gone a long time ago.
There's a reason. There's a reason why you're still here. Stop drinking, clown.
Ric Flair should have been dead, just like Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, how Ozzy made it to as long as he did, God rest his soul. But Ric Flair's the same way.
Ozzy made it because he's the Prince of Darkness. Come on.
I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness, Sharon. All right.
Bubbles, Sharon.
Bubbles, Sharon. Don Chuck, you're number 3.
Number 3 is a 3-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He's battled the Sheik, Terry Funk, who used to call him an egg-sucking dog. A legendary Florida wrestler.
He got a
bicycle. People forget about his early WWF run with Superstar Billy Graham. His son is the champion, or somewhat champion right now, but yeah, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He's the first wrestler that I remember seeing, like I said at the beginning. Like it just his promos, the way that he wrestled, the way he'd almost boogie at you. And the elbow is legendary. And then all the backstage stuff. Like he's always had his hand in on who's going over and who isn't. And I mean, going back to the matches, people forget about the great barbed wire match that he had with Tully Blanchard.
Oh yes.
Yep.
The cage match between him and Lex.
Yep.
2 cage matches that night. Starrcade '87.
Yep.
It was Lex and Dusty and Ric Flair and Ronnie Garvin, I think.
Yep, you're right.
And I think he won the title at the Great American Bash '86 in a cage.
Greensboro Coliseum. Yep.
I mean, so many. I mean, like you go down the list of how many great matches in the NWA that he had, and then in WWF, again, it's just underutilizing a great wrestler when you make him the common man. Still had some good matches, but it wasn't the same.
Again, those matches he had with Savage, it was great.
Yep.
Just another. I mean, and let me tell you this. You think about it. When Dusty comes to Vince, Dusty's the one booking against Vince. Dusty's the one trying to put Vince out of business. What do you think Vince thought? He said, yeah, I'm going to make you, let's put the polka dots on you. And give Dusty credit. Dusty said, whatever he was going to do, I was going to make it work. And he did. I mean, for the most part, he made it work. But yeah, Dusty, gosh, charisma, the Hard Times promo.
Yeah.
But how many people do you know get a finish named after you? There's another Dusty finish right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dusty knew for the most part how to book a show, how to get people wanting more.
Yep.
Dusty just got, him and Crockett just trying too hard, forgetting where you come from and trying to expand so much. And they weren't capable of it like Vince was at the time. And that cost Crockett. But Dusty, I mean, what can you say?
Yep.
The bionic elbow, the little jab with the little flip flop. yeah, that. I mean, he and the feud. A lot of people don't talk about one of his best feuds, Jim Cornette, when they were going back and forth when he had Baby Doll with him, Baby Doll. But yeah, Dusty was one of a kind, and I mean, yeah,
For sure.
didn't make my list, but I'm glad somebody had him up here. All right,
Tone.
Tone number 3.
I'd like to preface this by saying this will be the most controversial pick on
Good
anybody's
God.
list.
Hold on. Val Venus was up here. Now you're saying, what is this? One of the ding dongs?
This will be the most controversial pick on anyone's list ever, especially to be ranked as high as I've ranked this individual.
Mm-hmm.
This person was a world heavyweight champion of WWE title, a WCW world heavyweight champion, an intercontinental championship 4 times, United States championship 3 times, WWE tag team championship 1 time, world tag team championship 3 times, Royal Rumble winner 2004, WCW world heavyweight champion 1 time, WCW United States heavyweight champion 2 times, WCW World Tag Team Championship 2 times, WCW World Television Championship 3 times, ECW World Tag Team Championship 1 time, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 1 time, Stampede British Commonwealth Midwestern Mid Heavyweight Championship 4 times, and was the 12th WWE Triple Crown champion.
And he also scored a 750 on his SAT.
Unfortunately, his career has been marred by his exit in life. However, it is not to be said the man did not have some of the greatest wrestling ability, some of the greatest runs of his time, and that would be Chris Benoit. I know that's a controversial pick, but man, I'm going to tell you, it's unfortunate that he went out the way that he did. It sucks really, really bad because he is truly my number 3. I loved his technical skill. I love that he wasn't afraid to fly. I love that he had been just about everywhere and tried to, and made a championship just about everywhere. He was a good tag champion. He was a hell of a wrestler and a hell of a technical wrestler. Unfortunately, he had to do horrible fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because the wrestling ability is so great, but like you said, it's always going to be marred by what happened.
Yeah. I mean, and I've got to, and when I say this, and I mean this, my top 3 are there for reasons.
Yeah.
And when I think about technical ability, and when I think about Chris Benoit, I think this was the hardest working man in wrestling. Honestly, for as little as he was a hard working. He was a pit bull, dude. He was a pit bull in every way, and he fought for every ounce of everything that he got, every bit of it, dude.
Yep.
And just when you think in WCW he's going to get the recognition, and he leaves because of situations backstage, because he gets the title, and then they pretty much he leaves, they vacate the title, and they pretty much don't mention it from WCW till I guess when Vince bought WCW later on. He gets recognized then, but yeah, what pure talent, like you said, Tony. I mean, so talented and technically skilled, but gosh knows,
and a member of the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The age-old question: should he be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
You can't put him. With what happened, you can't put him in the Hall of Fame.
Nope.
It's not like we're talking about Pete Rose here. It's not like we're talking about gambling or steroids. We're talking about taking people's lives.
His exit was, when I heard about it, dude. There are very few major events that happen in the world that shake me to my core and bring tears to my eyes. One of those other times was when I heard Dimebag was killed.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'd never see Pantera at no cost ever again. and I had never seen Pantera as all 4 original members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this thing happens with Benoit. I cried. I can think of 3 major times I cried. Tupac, Dimebag, and Benoit. Oh,
and Cinderella.
No, fourth would be Dale Earnhardt.
Cinderella.
Those
That's
were
right.
those were some tough losses of what I would consider heroes in my life.
I mean, that was just because at the time you really didn't know what was going on there. I mean, when you hear the first thing you think of when you got 3 people in a house.
Oh, dude, the way the news came across that day, it was so cryptic up to a point.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene at this house right now. So they're saying this. They're saying this. They're saying, oh my God, it's this. Like,
and then to do the tribute show, and
oh yeah,
and the next night they pretty much, next time Vince is coming out saying,
just kidding,
forget that.
Yeah,
that's all we've got to say about Mr. Benoit.
Exactly.
I think that was his exact words.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Talented, but just a monster.
Dude, he was a worker, dude. He was a worker.
Definitely.
Man. He was a worker and very skilled.
Definitely.
It's exactly why he didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been in there, but yeah.
I told you my list was going to be controversial. There'd be some picks on here that wouldn't make everybody's list, and I knew this one was going to be bad. I mean, but I can't deny he is probably one of the last reasons I watched wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce, you're number 3.
All right. I won't stay on this one too long, but essentially number 3 for me is Ric Flair. I loved rooting against him.
Yeah.
And it was always weird whenever he turned babyface, because it's still like he's still the same prick, but like he's still
everybody's cheering for him.
Yeah, it's weird. It was so weird. I love his little tag team championship run with Roddy Piper late in the career. That was fun. And hell of a storyteller. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
But yeah, we talked about Flair earlier, so I won't get too much on that. But my number 3, Chuck had him earlier, and yeah, he's the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Sweet Chin Music.
Yeah, the Sweet Chin Music. He definitely, when he decided to use that as a finisher, except for that, and you remember the first finisher he did as a singles wrestler, that little teardrop suplex, they called it. It was kind of like the angle slam. I was like, you can do better than this with some. But Chin Music, I think seeing him hit Shelton Benjamin that night when Shelton Benjamin launched himself off the
loop,
and he hit him with that Chin Music there. That was pretty impressive there. But
that was great.
To come back from that back injury, and I've read all the books, seen the documentaries, the back injury that should have ended his career. If people are saying, is it real or not? Yeah, come on, guys, really. And he's admitted he was a prick in the Click days, and now pretty much running NXT. So yeah, but what a talent he was. And I'm like you, Chuck. I watched him when he was in the Midnight Rockers. That was one of the things that I would watch AWA for. Was the feud with Playboy, Buddy Rose. And Doug Summers, with Sherry Martel as their manager for the tag belts. But yeah, so I won't spend too much time. Shawn Michaels is my number 3.
Nice.
She was the first one who did his music before he redid the vocals.
Sherry.
And Shawn Michaels gets, like it or not, he gets a big piece of the credit for pulling the curtain down from the curtain call.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But,
he's part of it.
Yep. What's your number 2, Chuck?
My number 2 is the reason why I became a huge wrestling fan. We all know what titles he's held. WWE should have been AWA, but that was weird with Nick Bockwinkel. I was so psyched when I found this in the library. So much so that oops, I still have this somehow. Anyway. Now we go
take
on.
That back.
I come looking
Number
for you.
two, Hulk Hogan.
Dude, Hulk Hogan.
He's.
You talk about controversy and all that, but
if there was no Hulk Hogan, wrestling may not have never made it to the 90s.
It would have never happened.
Yep. Wrestling probably would have never made it to the 90s.
NWA would still be around.
Yep. Territories would still be in existence.
Yeah. All of that would still be in existence. I mean, but you go back to the matches, the Iron Sheik, you go to like the early title matches with David Schultz, the AWA title matches with Nick Bockwinkel. Say what you will about the WrestleMania 3 match with Andre the Giant, but everyone wanted to see that.
Yes. You're right.
And but those early matches with Andre, forget about those. The showdown at the Shea or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
The movies, Thunder Lips and all of that. But what he did for pro wrestling, no one knew not to get political or anything, no one knew what the fucking New World Order was.
Right.
They heard the president say it in 1991, but it really opened the door to knowing what a New World Order was and how they conducted it. Like they were taking over from the other federation, like a country would take over, and all of that. Like it was genius. That was one of the greatest heel turns, if not the greatest heel turn of all time. He reinvented his career.
So
matches.
It's like Steve Austin. Steve Austin wasn't this major heel turn. It was he rewired his character.
Yeah.
Hogan has always been known as the good guy, and all of a sudden he is the despicable of the despicable.
Don't you remember though, before the NWO, the heel turn, people were starting to boo Hogan.
They were.
And Hogan took some time off. You didn't see Hogan around for a while. So that's that was a good move.
Which side is he on? Bobby Heenan when he's coming down the aisle.
See the third guy in there. I was like, "Are you crazy?" Yeah. Heenan, and it tripped me out though when he did the heel turn to Hogan, and Heenan's out there for weeks going, "I tried to tell you guys about this guy the whole time. Y'all wouldn't listen to me."
Well, he wore black like a year before.
Yep, with the whole Dungeon of Doom thing.
Yep.
Yeah, because he had a match with Sting at Nitro when he was wearing all black like that, and he was kind of teasing the heel turn.
Yeah, he was starting to flounder, and then that NWO thing. I mean, people can say, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, but Hulk Hogan is what made it work.
Yeah, if you don't have Hulk Hogan in there, it doesn't work. You're right.
He's the biggest star, and he became like a traitor.
Yeah. Well, and it made sense because it made sense because he was the face of WWF at the time, and for him to be like saying, "Hey, I came over here, and you guys didn't even realize that I'm the third man, and this is what we're gonna take over."
Yeah, like it was like he went in and worked from the inside, manipulate.
And
look what happened just a few years later after that.
I don't care where you were, how close you were to wrestling at the time. You knew when Hulk Hogan turned to be a bad guy. You didn't even have to be tuned into wrestling at the time. You fucking what Hulk Hogan turned bad guy? What?
Yeah,
maybe I should be investigating what's going on here.
Yeah, let me take a glance at this. Let me start watching wrestling again. And of course, that got them winning the ratings war over WWE.
Oh yeah, Nitro was nuts.
Nitro was going crazy. and then they just got a little too full of themselves for the 3-hour shows and stuff like that. But all right, Tone, number 2 for you.
Number 2 has been spoken on before. We do not need to speak of his accolades. He is the execution of excellence. Greatest there was, greatest there is, greatest there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart was probably... There was a small era where I watched wrestling early on, and the Masked Superstar was kind of like my dude. Okay, but I wasn't super into wrestling at the time. I remember the Freebirds and stuff like that and whatnot. However, I would really take a liking to Bret Hart once he stepped on the scene. And after the Montreal Screwjob would probably be the first time I stopped watching wrestling for a while, or didn't try to tune in. I remember him with the Goldberg match where he had the steel plate in his stuff. And I thought, you know what? How come nobody thought about this until now?
Exactly.
It was Bret the Hitman Hart. It just goes without saying, if he's not in anybody's top 5 for technical ability, wrestling skill, maybe you don't care about wrestling as much as I do.
Yeah.
Especially for that era. Him and Shawn Michaels had wonderful matches. That just, what I remember big time about the Hart era was the Hart Foundation. I remember Brutus the Barber Beefcake being in the scene at the time. There was just some really cool people on the scene at that time, and Bret was the fucking man, dude. And that's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart, number 2 for me.
All right, Bruce, number 2 for you, bud.
All right, we got another repeat. Number 2 for me. Everything that he did in the ring, out of the ring. One of my favorite promos was towards the end when he was just like working like as an executive for WWE, where he starts he's talking to Triple H, and then Stephanie McMahon is over there and he puts his hand up in her face.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that real like legit pissed.
That didn't go over too well.
Yeah. Yeah, you crossed the line, old man. Oh yeah, it was so great. The American Dream, Hard Times himself, son of a plumber, Dusty Rhodes. I love that run in WWF with Sweet Sapphire.
Where's Sweet Sapphire? Hacksaw baby, where have you found Sweet Sapphire?
And again, those legendary matches he had with Ric Flair. That's when whenever he would do a 3-man tag with the Road Warriors, just great shit, man. He was just a God, he was great.
Dusty was great, dude. Dusty was great.
Have you guys heard the guy on that morning talk show do the prank calls, and he sounds exactly like Dusty Rhodes?
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. He calls one guy at a horse stable and said, "I'm looking for some horsemen." And they're like, "Horsemen?" He said, "Yeah." And then he leaves a message for somebody. Said, "I leave a message for Rick." He said, "Are you a friend of him?" He said, "More of a nemesis, I guess you would say. We spill blood many, many miles." But Dusty was just, I'll have to send you guys that if you hadn't seen it.
Please do.
But Dusty was just such a character too, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And hear him commentating, one of my favorite things he did commentating, when the guy at the ringside, I don't know who it was, I can't remember, but had a bicycle like that. And I would say, you hear Dusty, he got a bicycle. He got a bicycle. I mean, he was just a character. Such charisma. And I mean, there was never another one like that.
Oh, dude, he was great in interviews.
Oh God,
I think we haven't even mentioned the fact that he was so great in interviews.
One of the best talkers in the business, for sure.
You can go on YouTube, and there is somebody put these together. I think there's like 4 parts of nothing but Dusty Road interviews.
Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
Like you just sit there for a day to watch Dusty Rhodes just work his fucking magic.
You guys remember,
was such a great talker.
you guys remember in the middle of the Cornette and Midnight Express feud when him and Magnum put mask on and became the James Boys?
Oh yes. Oh, he was the Midnight Rider.
Oh yeah, the Midnight Rider too. Yeah.
Also, Dusty had this thing where David Allan Coe was in his corner for a while.
Oh, and David Allan Coe would play concerts at the Great American Bash after the matches. Well, but he would play a concert.
Yeah.
He came in the ring when he beat Flair for the belt at the Great American Bash in the cage. David Allan Coe came in the cage and celebrated with him. But yeah, Dusty with the Midnight Rider deal, that was, and when that ended, when she did it twice, he did it in Florida, and then he did it in NWA. Yep. When that ended, they lifted the suspension on him. And that was about the time Wyndham turned heel. They had the U.S. turn that Dusty got stripped of the U.S. belt. They had the tournament for that, and the Midnight Rider was in that tournament. And Wyndham just like, I'm taking care of him tonight. And all of a sudden, you see at ringside who comes up at ringside, sitting at ringside, while the Midnight Rider is wrestling with Dusty Rhodes, and they unmasked the Midnight Rider, and he was the Italian Stallion that night.
Oh,
Paul Roma.
Yeah, the not Rocky Balboa, but the lesser famous Italian Stallion. I'll put it that way.
That's funny.
All right, my number 2, and this may shock, not the Shock Master, but this was shock you guys because he is one of the most underrated wrestlers, in my opinion, in the history of wrestling. Can cut a promo. He was never won the world championship, but he was a multiple-time world tag team championship with several different partners. Pretty much owned the TV belt for a while, and one of the founding members, and pretty much coined the phrase "the Four Horsemen." And I'm talking about Double A, Arn Anderson.
Great pick.
The master of the spine buster. Nobody does a better spine buster than Double A. And even after he retired, that WrestleMania 18 match, Flair and Undertaker, and Arn comes out of nowhere and hits the Undertaker with a spine buster. I jumped out of my seat when that happened.
Rolled right out. Oh,
I was like, yes. But yeah, and Arn, Arn's got one of my favorite promos. I'm not one to toot my own horn, but toot. Yeah. Arn just, man, I've loved Arn for a long time. I remember watching him in a match. This was a house show in Greenville, North Carolina in like 88. This was right before the Four Horsemen was pretty much going, right before he went to WWF. He was wrestling Ricky Morton. And there was a group of people ringside, a group of guys ringside that, they were Horseman fans, and they were giving Ricky Morton hell. I mean, every time he would come outside the ring, and Ricky Morton slipped him the old finger like on the side of his face, and they started, and Arn was in the ring, and he was just laughing his ass off. He was totally, it looked like he was breaking character, but I mean, look at the tag teams this guy had. First with Ole, never won the tag belts, but then gets with Tully, one of the best tag teams you'll ever see. Larry Zbyszko, and then when you put the 2 greatest tag team wrestlers of all time together, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton together with the Dangerous Alliance, man, what I guess, and to see him go out the way he did with the injury, I hated to see it that way, but man, what a talent, underrated. Never got a chance could he have won a world championship? Maybe, but he did.
He didn't need it.
He didn't need it. You're exactly right, Bruce. But Double A is my number 2.
Nice pick. That's a
Yeah.
real nice pick. So let me see. I have one horseman. You had a horseman.
I've got 2 horsemen. Flair
Anybody else have horsemen?
Flair.
Flair. Well, Sting was
and Sting. That's right.
A horseman. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So let's get to the grand finale here.
There we go.
Number 1 for you, Chuck. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of Hoffman, the greatest of all time. He made this belt very, very popular and used in the WWF or WWE. He's the real world's champion.
The real.
I've got more videos and everything else of him. Trust me. Ric Flair is the greatest of all time. People say, "Oh well, he had the same match over and over." He had great matches with everyone, from George South.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yes, I mean, like he made enhancement talent look like stars, and the matches with Kerry Von Erich.
Oh yeah.
The matches with Dusty Rhodes, as we've already, I mean, like 1984, Starrcade 84, the first blood match. Who can forget the 3 matches with Superstar Billy Graham? Well, I mean, I was very little when all of that happened, but when those came like on video, man, I had to watch those several times because they were that great. But like with Ric Flair, he was in the WWF in 1977. I forget who he wrestled, but then like the matches that he had with Ricky Steamboat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's very flawed in all of that, like, but he's just the greatest of all time. Like, I mean, what can't you say about all the matches that he had with? I mean, think about Royal Rumble '92.
Yes,
start to finish.
Everyone that he had faced up until then was almost like in that match.
Yeah,
like him, and Kerry Von Erich got back together for a little tangle. So yeah, he's number 1. I may have drifted off there, but like he's number 1. He's the greatest of all time, despite all the flaws. And then you got Charlotte, and it's like his Spawn was great. It's great.
Yeah,
and no telling what Reed would have done if Reed had got his stuff straight.
David, not so much.
Yeah, David, not so much. But yeah, Flair is definitely, the greatest, in my opinion, greatest wrestler of all time. Technically, and you talk about people saying he had the same match over and over again, but guess what? Back then, you didn't have matches on TV. You didn't have social media where people were doing that. So these people, where he was going from town to town, they didn't see this over and over again. He was going to different towns and having that match. So I don't buy into that crap there. But all right, Flair. So Flair was on so far 3 of our lists. So number 1 for you, Tone. Who you got?
Number 1. This didn't get mentioned earlier. This gentleman was on the list. He was a WCW World Heavyweight Championship 1 time, WWA World Heavyweight Championship 1 time, WWC Universal Heavyweight Championship 1 time, WWA World Heavyweight Championship Indianapolis version 1 time, Tag Team Championships 7 times in WCW, 2 times in the WWF, 2 times in the IWGP, and 1 time in TNA, and 1 time in NWA, and that would be your big bad booty daddy, Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner.
Wow.
Scott is probably one of the longest careers I've watched. I was a fan of the Steiners since day one.
Yeah.
And watching Scott be as big as he is and then take and chisel his body in the way that he did was a stunning transformation, and then planning on reinventing himself into what would become Big Papa Pump was a pretty cool progression. And one thing that a lot of people may not know here is, before I got so much into music or was dealing with other things in life, I was a bodybuilder. At 15 years old, I could press 350 pounds. Not many 15-year-olds can do that. And I could get that up off my chest. I was looked at by many, many recruiters, but my heart and my eye vision wouldn't let me into the military. So bodybuilding became my thing until I had 2 incidences. One where I went through a window at a friend's house, cut my wrist here. They told me never to put more than 200 on it. I've attempted it. I had 250 up on it once, but it felt like it was almost going to tear. And then I had my shoulder dislocated, and that thing is dislocated over 100 times. I've shaved off bone on my left shoulder. So putting up mass weight on a straight press isn't quite possible, getting a lot up. However, on an incline press, I could still probably put up 200, and I haven't worked out in a while. But watching him form his body into this chiseled machine that eventually became what would ultimately destroy him, because he just didn't. You're that jacked up, you're that juiced up, dude. Shit goes awry. And he, in my opinion, there is nobody in the wrestling industry before him, after him, that will ever have the physique that he had.
None.
None.
I agree.
And his wrestling ability well surpassed his physique. He was a very good, dynamic wrestler and had been a long-time player in the game. And that is why Scott Steiner is my favorite wrestler.
Got you.
There you go.
So I'm glad somebody else got BPP. Matt Smith is saying BPP, Big Papa Pump.
Dude, you even in the end, when he rode that stick out, dude, you couldn't beat that stick. All I care about is my freaks and my peaks.
Yeah. And I mean, you give that guy a live mic, and there's no telling what you're going to hear.
It was a risky situation.
Ric Flair found out. Ringo Fitz said was a rock in anyone's top 10. Well, we're still going, but we'll see with these last 2 picks if he's in there. I'll tell you this: not looking good on my part. But anyway, Bruce, you're number 1.
All right, so this guy meant more to me than pretty much anyone growing up.
I already know who it is.
This guy helped me learn how to talk. This guy, really helped me become the person that I am. When he died, it absolutely broke me. Like I crying. As he became older and kind of out of the business, he actually started reminding me of my dad, like the way he would talk, like just very mellow, and like his facial features. And so it really broke my heart that I was never able to meet him. But the best talker, the best instigator, if you had to pick one person to get the most heat in the shortest amount of time, that is Hot Rod himself, Roddy Piper. No one could do it better. No one. You know,
he was another lunacidal guy. Once you got him on the mic, once he went hot, you never knew what you got.
Nope. His last great promo that he did was against Jericho. You know, again, when that big Legends thing, great promo he cut on him. You know, when he came back from making They Live, that Piper's Pit with Morton Downey Jr. and Brother Love, fantastic.
With the fire extinguisher.
Yes. Hey, Mr. Downey.
How about smoke? What about you? You're forgetting the iconic line from They Live. I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of
bubblegum.
Yeah.
That's right.
What a great movie, too.
It is a great movie.
For its time frame, it was good stuff, man.
You know, that match that he had with Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, yeah. Underrated match.
Fantastic. Literally Piper's best technical match by far. It's so good. And then, you know, when Piper and Bret had the rematch in WCW, another fantastic match. The feud that he had with Hogan, phenomenal. I mean, I could go on, but just the absolute best talker in the business, Roddy Piper, my guy.
Yeah. I knew once we got in the top 3, you hadn't rambled him off yet, and I go, he's number 1. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Yeah.
I think at one point in time, Bruce thought he was his dad.
The way he would talk and just oh God, I'm just like.
He had a cage match with Bruno.
Yeah.
Where he was like hanging up like stuff from the Chicago Bears or something like that.
He's the only guy that played the Mexican national anthem on bagpipes, which was La Cucaracha.
Like you could see him cut himself.
Yeah.
Like it was so clear as day in that cage match.
Well, you talk about him getting heat. And recently I went back and watched a lot of the old Piper's Pits, and I forget the guy's name. He was kind of a mid-carder. He was an Italian guy. And they, for some reason, I guess they were in an area with the Italian crowd was there. And the guy came in the ring, and Piper and Orton was in there. Piper looked at him and said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Somebody order a pizza?" And oh man.
Was it Salvatore Balemo?
Who?
Salvatore Balemo?
Yeah. He said, "What are you doing here? Somebody order a pizza?" I was like, "Oh my God!"
And that whole thing with Frankie Williams from Columbus, Ohio.
Look, another thing too, he did when the whole rock and wrestling thing started, and Mr. T, he was starting that feud with Mr. T. I don't know if you guys remember I don't know if it's technically right to call him the little wrestler.
Oh, the midgets.
Yeah, the Haiti Kid. When him and Orton,
and shaved him.
Haiti Kid, and said, "Oh, you like Mr. T? He's your friend." He said, "Well, guess what? I'm going to give you a haircut just like him." And he shaved the mohawk in it. I mean, oh my God! I was like, "This guy's he is off the chain, dude."
Heat.
He knew how to get heat. For sure. He loved it too. But yeah, Piper was legendary. So my number 1, and this has been talked about from the UWF days to coming to WCW, getting made at Clash of Champions, won by Flair. And man, I just, like you said, Bruce, talking about the makeup, getting drawn to the guys with makeup. This guy just, I mean, with the bleached blonde hair and the makeup, and then him going to big feud with Flair, getting so close to the title, and then having the knee injury that night after I was just always a big Sting fan. And then seeing him go, like we talked about, going to the Crow, that was so cool. I even got my wife to paint my face like the Crow one year because like I said, and I said, you got to do it just like this, which it didn't work for me. I had short hair. So, and, but Sting was just, Mr. WCW.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you. They really misused him before he got injured in WWE. A lot of people don't talk about one of my least favorite versions of Sting, though, in TNA was the Joker Sting.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like that much at all. But yeah, Sting. Gosh knows, dude. From day one, you just got drawn to him, and I remember him as a heel. But like I said, getting those UWF shows and seeing when he turned babyface, because him and Rick Steiner lose the belts, the UWF tag belts, to the Lightning Express. I don't know if you guys remember the Lightning Express.
Tim Horner
and Brad Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Tim Horner and Brad Armstrong, underrated tag team. They were great together. Neither one of them could talk at all. Brad Armstrong is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers ever, but couldn't talk. If he'd had any mic skills, he would be legendary.
Very vanilla.
Prettiest drop kick you'll ever see. But Sting turns babyface, gets in the feud with Eddie Gilbert. I watched them one night. Sting and a very young Shane Douglas fighting all over the arena with Terry Taylor and Eddie Gilbert. I mean, there was a knockdown draft. I mean, they went in the stands, they went in the concession stands. It was just great. But yeah, and to see his career go on as long as it did, AEW times, he finished up strong. I think they did him right. Now, I think his son is wrestling in AEW. What's his name? I can't remember his name now, but one of the sons that dressed up like him for that last match. But Sting was always my number one there. But yeah, my number one is Sting.
Nice.
All very good. All very, very interesting and good picks.
Yeah, but I think you got us tonight, buddy. You got us. The Val Venus pick will be talked about for decades.
Dude, I thought the guy could wrestle. His shtick was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. We all have those wrestlers that did their hilarious shtick, and they stick out in your mind, and you kind of go, you know what? He's kind of one of my favorites. One of my favorites was Stand Back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Hurricane Helm.
So there are some guys out there that you really had fun with. La Parka, another one you had a lot of fun with, is him dancing and stuff, but a great lucha libre. There's so many people that could have made the list.
Santino is a hilarious wrestler too.
Somebody mentioned The Rock, and the truth of the matter is, man, The Rock is probably one of the best promo cutters ever to exist in the game, dude. And his mic skills were impeccable, dude. Yeah. It would only make sense that he would move his way into Hollywood. And the Rock Bottom, as vanilla as a move as it may be, still fun. The People's Elbow, still fun. And he comes from a long line of wrestling royalty. He's a great wrestler. He could have been on anybody's list. There's a dozen more out there. That Road Warrior Animal could have been on anybody's list. Road Warrior Hawk could have been on anybody's list. There's a ton of people out there that could have been on anybody's list.
Yep.
I know for a fact that you have more than 10 favorite wrestlers.
Oh, definitely.
These are just your top favorite. You just love to watch them come to the ring, do their thing. And yeah, crack on Val Venus all you want, but man, he had the shtick, dude. He had the shtick. Even if it had a short stint, it was a funny shtick, dude. And the dude could back it up wrestling.
Yeah, but I still think if you're doing comedic wrestle, Santino with you got a big mouth, John Cena.
Yes.
The most times anybody's ever broke another wrestler, it had to be, oh look, I'm Bautista. Santino.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Santino though. I wasn't ready. The quickest elimination from the Royal Rumble. I wasn't ready. But guys, we've been doing this for 3 hours, and it feels like it's
Like it's only been a couple.
Yeah, we could talk all night, I'm sure, about this, but you know, I know people got to work in the morning, like me, which I got a short day tomorrow, thank God. But I've enjoyed every minute of this, guys. And next episode with you four guys, we need to do tag teams.
Oh yeah.
I'd be down. Do we want to? So how do we want to do this? Do we want to do top 5 tag teams?
Is that a suggestion?
I'm just asking, because if we go 10, think about what we did tonight. We each had 10 wrestlers. If we go 10 tag teams, we could run another 3 hours or so. So if you want to, I'd say we do our top 5 tag.
We can do 5. We can do 5. That way we cut it in half.
Yeah.
But
I think that will not make my list.
Who was it?
The ding dongs will not make my list.
Oh gosh, no!
That means I can pick them up. Yay!
The Bushwhackers will not make my list.
Belleville. Those guys were actually a pretty good tag team before they became the Ding Dongs. I don't know if you guys realize that. You look up, I can't remember their names, but they wrestled a lot of independents. It was a rock. Of course, everybody had a rock and roll theme tag team back there, or either you were that or you were an Express there for a while, like the Zambui Express or something like that. I mean, but those guys were independent. They did some kind of rock theme before they became Jim Hurd suckered them into being the Ding Dongs. But anyway, guys, Tone, Chuck, Bruce, thank you guys so much. Chuck, glad you got to be on here tonight. I enjoyed talking to you. We got to talk some more with you too, because I got a feeling you might be the head of the nation of useless information about wrestling up here. We might be neck to neck on that with everybody. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. For all you guys out there that make comment, Matt, Mallory, of course, talking about my hat, Ringle Fitch, thank you so much for all the American Dream was out there tonight. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. And next time we'll have with this crew right here, we'll have the top 5 tag teams of all time. And maybe Right to Censor will make it on Bruce's list with Val Venus. We'll see. But
well,
anyway, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time on The Fly.
See y'all.
See you.